Hey everybody, I missed the mute button. How's everyone doing? Hopefully you're well. I'm well. That's what's important. Muted, please share that track with me. You like that track? Oh, like you said, this track slaps. I'm so sorry to tell you that that track was actually the bait track. There's one track I have in the playlist that's actually genuinely not good. Just so that we understand that like there has to be you need texture. What is good if there's not bad? Um, and you just self-reported so hard. It's called The One-Eyed Captain. Here, I'll just spell it here. It's easier. The One-Eyed Captain by Captain Q's. Well, that's rude. I'm just saying, man. It's this. You can find it. Uh, it's good that everyone enjoys different music. It's cool. Oh, I shouldn't have started out with that sort of energy. I don't think you understand how savage this stream's gonna be. If you think that's rough, it only gets worse. Brennick, how's it going? It says that your first time chatting in Twitch. That can't be right. Maybe it's a new account. How you doing? Hopefully well. Yeti, hey yo, how's it going as well? Pele, Mr. Pele, how's it going? Neon Static says substream. Eric, how you doing? I probably should have messaged you directly, but shout out if you want to watch some Netrunner content. This was a long time in the making. I know we've been talking about this a bit on stream, but Eric over there at Neon Static, you might know as Canister, has been putting together and learning After Effects to do motion graphic stuff, to put together like gameplay videos of live in-person stuff. This is not too dissimilar to what we see on this channel. It's really well put together, so it's like super easy to follow, especially if you're particularly newer to the game, where there's like, pop-ups and card stuff, and there's like nice graphics and stuff like that. This is only round one of a series of G&K stuff. I've no doubt Eric's gonna be doing more of this stuff. It's obviously super time intensive. I've no doubt he likes it. If you can subscribe, you can like, leave a comment, all that sort of stuff. This stuff's really cool. And again, it's very obvious that you can see what's going on, which is obviously a huge help. Eric, I caught up on your stream last night. What kind of new microphones do you have? I think it's a boom microphone, I reckon. Yeah, it's clean. It's good. I don't know about the tinny stuff. Also, Eric, real quick, I think you might have missed this. Maybe I missed this because it was slightly off camera. You have to be very careful. In the last game, I think in the last match of that live stream, you did an illegal move, man. You did it. You did I think someone got a game loss at this at like High Top of Worlds or European Nationals or some big event. Uh, but I'm pretty sure the Eagle Eye Gamer saw that you put two Tranquility Home Grid in the same server to fire the Tranquility Home Grid. That's straight to NSG jail, my friend. You gotta watch out. Somebody, I forget who it was or what, but it was like a really, really high stakes tournament during nearly the finals, that somebody put two Lacosta grids in the same server. And I think like a national champion title was decided by, that keeps happening, was decided by two regions. I did. Oh no, it is okay. Nobody found out. And it actually wasn't that important. You were just installing to game 2, but just watch out. That's the sort of thing that you want to goof up, not an event. You want to goof up in person, but the streams are fun. With that trigger before the trash, you just can't do it. Oh, that's interesting. Actually, you can do it. I assume the card is trashed before the second one's installed, because for no point in time will you have two in the same server, because you're not allowed to. But yeah, I think you're right that you can install one on top of the second one, but it will trash the first one before the second one goes in. So I don't believe this tech should fire, because I think you have to make sure that the trash is legal before you can do it. You know what I mean? I thought a limit was only on res text. Yeah, no, it doesn't matter. And that's a really easy one to goof up for sure. We've even seen decks recently that have like two different regions in the same deck, where like the deck is Tranquility Home Grids, but also has a Sand or something, or like Jupe Stat Grid, and heaven forbid you put them in the same, which is a big issue. You want to watch out for that. Andre goes sicko mode. Yeah, get him. Hey, Linkfink, how's it going? Good evening. How you doing? Also, Baza, hey, happy Thursday. Hopefully you're doing well. Padma lost an eye. Oh, in terms of the captain, Padma has two eyes, right? I think Padma looks. No. She has her eyes. Not that. Yeah. Okay. Hey, Kat. How are you doing? I'm doing well. How are you doing? We're gonna be doing some deck building today. How do you feel? Again, congratulations. We talked about this before about the event. What is it now? 2 weekends ago. I always feel like this is the same thing. I don't know. You put on production or something, and then like the week after, finally, there's just that relaxation where there's no more pressure, there's no more tension. The cool thing happened, and it's behind you, and you can remember fondly. You can you can sit up at night and you can recount all the nice memories, but then you realize what's ahead of you. You don't know anymore. hopefully you're not feeling that. It's a bit melodramatic, but you know what I mean? Like sometimes after like you spend so much time worrying about it and organizing a big event, and then the event happens and you're like, what do I do with myself? I must say I always found it difficult, hey Joseph, to explain to new players what text is active, even when a card is unres. Limit one region per server this card can be banned, etc. Joseph, I'm totally with you on that. I think it's so strange that certain card text is active when it's unres, certain card text is only active when it's resed. Of course, one of the big things that messes with that is the fact that ambush text is active on cards even when they're not resed. It doesn't make sense. I know I've said before, and this could be complicated and maybe not necessary, but maybe there's a chance that Netrunner could benefit from some sort of icon before text that makes it obvious that it's active when it's not resed. Maybe that's worth something. Maybe, and this is the thing I think we've seen in Ashes, another card game, is that there's certain card text that's active on cards when they're exhausted, if I'm not mistaken, and there's certain card text that's not active when the thing is exhausted. And they delineate that by putting the card text that is active regardless of exhaustion state in like a little box. Like there's a little bit of formatting so you can tell that's like omnipresent text. And for what it's worth, like I don't think it's a huge, like it's ugly and it's a weird thing to learn, and honestly I don't know why. I do not know why certain things besides ambushes work like that. But of course I think one of the easiest ones people learn on, and by easiest I mean the first thing they learn it on, is that this is not active unless it's resed. Which, why does that work like that? I don't know. I'm on Netrunner break till next year. Okay, hey, let's go. Are you really trying to bring people down today? No. I just haven't had my coffee yet, but I think it's important. I think it's super important to like, even these sort of things, they're worth talking about. It's nice to know that, like, you know, when you go to an event that's a big event, somebody puts a lot of work into it, and in, you know, in some ways they put a piece of themselves into it. And when that event is over, they're peaceless. The mics are pencil condenser mics. Samsung CO2 PR is a pair of 100. Took me a minute to find them. Oh, sick. I think Jeff was like absolutely, he was also joking in the absolute what's it called, equipment creep on the channel. But I really appreciate it. Someone who likes equipment a heck of a lot, and it makes me a fair bit jealous. I'm like at the point where I really want to do tabletop play, and it's also like not only Netrunner stuff, it's like Marvel Champions. I got back into Arkham Horror, which for unfortunate circumstances I wasn't able to play for like 2 months. It's what Monday nights was, why I can't watch the stream. And like, man, tabletop card play is really, really cool. That is for sure. Yo, Augustus High Stream, what evil tag things are we doing? Firstly, congratulations. A bit of a spoiler this weekend was the Italian Nationals. It was streamed. I'm not sure how long the VODs are going to be up there, so get in there while you can. But this was streamed on Team Camperini. Shout out to the team that did Italian Nationals, and a bit of a spoiler there, but we might have an Italian National champ in our chat. I don't know, Augustus, if you want to talk about it, because like the finals was wild. I was only able to watch, like we cast 2 rounds. So we were meant to cast the final 3 rounds on Saturday, and they were really fun. We cast the first 2 rounds, and before we got to the 5th final round of the day, unfortunately, my partner had fallen on Friday night, getting in the evening on some cement, and she ended up hurting her leg really bad, her foot specifically. And so we called in the morning, and we found out like we can take her in for an X-ray if we need to, and so we had to basically go. I had to unfortunately tell the Italian Nationals people like, hey, I have to leave at 11:30 because I have to take my partner to the medical center. Short of the long is she's fine. She didn't break anything. She just sprained her ankle. She's already a lot better. We just had to make sure nothing was worse than that. So like everything's okay. No worries. She's totally okay. But yeah, unfortunately we had to duck out slightly sooner than we need to. So we were only there for 2 rounds, but it was really fun. And then the finals I could see, it was labeled grand finals. I don't know if it was the run back. And like, there's a bit of a spoiler here. It's just like kind of, it's an unfortunate thing, but I think it's still really exciting game because it's a wild game, and it teaches something that I think is really important, a lesson that I know I was in a tournament of much lower stakes that I was kicking myself about. I'll get to it in a second. I just want to catch up on chat because we're going to spoil something really quickly. Maybe we need something similar to a persist or interface flag. Yeah, cold lava. That's what I'm thinking. Something like that, right? Like just a flag might help. How you doing, by the way? Hey, Vital. Sup, chat? Hope everyone's having an excellent day. Thank you. Hopefully you are too. Agreed on the icon for face down active text. Clarity is important. You start your coffee at 1 p.m. You know I do. I actually do. I don't. Yeah. I generally don't do morning coffee unless I like have to wake up really early and do something like that requires like Italian Nationals. We were up in the morning to cast. Yeah, I have a coffee then. From the burn I got. Running big events are exhausting. Do you not run giant tournaments the week before you get after you get back from international travel? Yeah, I believe it. I think that was the thing that almost came up, is like we were running Canadian Nationals, and there was a chance that we would travel out. We traveled out the weekend before for a wedding, and there was a chance we would travel out the weekend before that to go to Cascadia, and it just like unfortunately didn't make sense. I've disowned Big Deal after that finals for betraying me in my second last in R&D, but thankfully managed to win. Yeah, Augustus, congratulations. So, in short, what happened is that Augustus was playing the sort of Augustus deck that Augustus played at the last, I want to say UK Nationals, right? And it is the sort of like punitive bacterial programming your digital life list, except he's been playing it specifically out of what's it called, Eigenfusion. And I really like the change because not only is Eigenfusion interesting, you have a bit more influence to work with. We'll find it at some point, right? That doesn't work, does it? I'll just search Eigenfusion. Not only does it work because your ice is really big and you can be more financially annoying to the runner that has to like, run archives twice if they want to get a flip and then you throw them through some of your big ice, you also have a bit more influence to work with. But I think the big technology change here is that we have a copy of Big Deal, which Big Deal's amazing because a lot of times the runner play can be a bit passive. If they understand like running their remote server is really difficult, running archives is impossible, they might have to play a bit passive if they can't win off central servers. And so then you have this button that says, I can score a 5-3 from hand, but even better than that, I can score a Regenesis from hand. And if there's an agenda in archives, that is 4 points fast advanced. Where you can score Regenesis straight from hand on the table, you have to score a 1-5-3 and then you win the game. That's really, really big. Unfortunately, the finals, Yan is playing against Augustus, and Yan, it has such a fantastic board state. It almost is guaranteed, but Yan missed the fact that there was a big deal in the deck. And I know I've been there before where I've sat back and I understood, hey, I don't think my opponent can win this game. Like there's 5 cards left in the deck. Augustus is like drawing really, really heavily to get to the, like, clearly something's missing. And as soon as he top decks a big deal, the game is over. He's draw, nothing. The big deal turns out it's the second last card in the deck, if I'm not mistaken. But Yan understands, like, if I can sit back, I don't have to do anything. And unfortunately, it forgot that there was a big deal in the deck. And I know I've done that before. I was kind of, worked out one. It was a GNK though, but I was playing against an opponent who was playing that sort of Red Planet Courier's Biotic Labor deck, and I totally forgot just like Project Beal exists. Which I think the thing is, like, as soon as your opponent is clearly trying to do something and you don't understand what, especially for an event like this, you probably need to take a second to like just review their deck list, because that's a big change, and that's a super important change that I think it's important to take as much advantage of. Is if you don't understand like exactly how you can lose, take the 20 seconds to review the deck list to see like, oh shit, there actually is a win condition that I need to interact with. And if Yan just made one run on R&D to see all the cards trash the big deal, the game was over on the spot. So it turned out to be a very close game. But at the end, Yan was clear on camera like, oh, I totally forgot that was in the deck. And with deck lists now available at all points in time in the tournament, just taking like 20 seconds, even like halfway through the game, even if things are not going poorly or if things are going well, just to review the deck list is probably worth the time it takes you to do it. And I think that's something that I've learned watching the tournament. It's like, I've been in that situation. I've definitely forgotten, my opponent has a win condition. A lot of times that someone wins a game, you'll be like, oh yeah, right. That's how I lose. And just taking that little bit of time is really, really cool. But shout out to both. I think Yan did really, really well. It was like probably top of Swiss, if I'm not mistaken. And had the game technically on lock, but Augustus did clinch it out there at the end, which is pretty exciting. And it's so wild to see because everyone watching knew it was like, oh, it's all about the big deal here, and just trying to draw into it was definitely a bit frustrating to watch. But Augustus just scraped it out. I have disowned Big Deal after that finals for betraying me and being second last in RD, but thankfully managed to win. Yeah, it was really, really tight. Glad your printer's like, okay, thank you, Flesh and Blood. Luckily, you're not in the USA trying to get medical help. It's like, it's not as bad as America, that's for sure. But it's worth knowing, like, here in Canada, or specifically in Montreal, there is a huge shortage of like doctors. Like, I don't have a doctor. I don't. I have medical coverage. But like, more often than not, and this is like, the frustrating thing is you end up going to, if you need something done, if you can afford it with insurance, you hopefully can afford it, like, going private, like, for like, it's really difficult. It's like, do you want to wait all day to have someone look at your leg, or do you want to pay more money than it should be for someone to see you right now? Sounds like a terrible final match, to be honest. Rosenheim, what do you mean? It's a really exciting match. They're like two decks that are really well teched against each other. Like it was big good stuff Hoshiko. Funny enough, the agenda in archives that will end up winning the game came down from the Maw, from the sort of like Maori type decks, which is unfortunate. The idea that it's actually sometimes difficult to Maw Eigenfusion, because if you Maw in a 3-pointer agenda, they can like big deal out the what's it called, the 3-1. Not that I think Augustus had a lot of chances to discard the agenda at the end of the turn, so it technically didn't matter, but technically that's how the agenda got there, which is really fun. Hey Pink, I'm doing well. How are you doing? I've lost sitting back with the killer rig waiting for an install with Claw ready to go to an expedited big deal at a G&K. Yep. That one's different. And like, for what it's worth, there are a bunch of cards in Netrunner that when I lose to them, I don't think it makes me excited. Like, there's a lot of cool ways to lose in Netrunner, but when somebody just big deals out of nowhere on 4 points, like, don't like it. I think with open deck lists, that's a lot more, you know, especially when it's a big deal at a game net. I'm like, oh, okay. But when it's like big deal at an open deck list, I think that gives you some urgency and you play the game differently. I do want to shout out a card that's seeing more play, and I would think right now, this is probably my least favorite card in all of Netrunner, is Vulnerability Audit. No one has lost to Vulnerability Audit and thought like, oh, that was really cool. They all think like, oh, the game's over because you fast advanced to 4-3, or the card on the table never advanced and Shinteki was a 3-pointer. Like, I don't know. I find win conditions that just win out of nowhere, especially the ones that are not very interaction based. And I guess that's the point. You're lacking interaction when these things go off. To me, when the game is just over and it feels like the rug has been pulled out from you, I don't think, oh, that's sick. That's my problem. I love Auto, but also you can't fast advance it. Nominee requested. Yeah. It's not so much that it's fast advance. It's like, you know, tricked out with, what's it called? I think people are playing this now in Atea, stuff like that. Oh, you can't fast advance it. You have to do some tricks. You're right. But nobody's like bioticking this out. Yeah. You definitely didn't fast advance a hey bot. Yeah, no, that's not what I mean. I think I'm starting to see this, and I've lost to this in like Atea, where like Atea is just like, oh, on your turn, I'm going to install this with the timely public release, and I'll just score it from hand. Like, it's the closest to fast advance without being fast advance. Judge. Yeah, anyways, check out Italian Nationals. Looks like a really cool event. I think the stream on the team tournament, I'm not sure if it was saved. I couldn't find it on Friday. And then the top rounds are too, cool as well. I casted 2 rounds. I'm not sure how they're broken up here, but it was a good time. What are we building today? I love Audit in La Costa. Agon, that's the one that keeps getting me. It's like, oh, there's a card in the remote server. Is it a 4-3? And then you just lose suddenly. When like you're basically saying, oh, they have to advance it once for it to be a Fuji or whatever, 5-3 they're playing. And then you just lose to it. Like, I think it's good. And I think it's worth playing. I just find it so unexciting when you just lose to a stat stick that is like slightly crooked. I don't know. Hang on, famous Red Plant Couriers lover Andre now hating on rug pulls. We used to be proper country. I have never enjoyed Red Plant Couriers, and I don't know how deep we're going into the what's it called? Irony here. How's it going, Mela? What are we building today? Good question. So there is an interesting part in Netrunner that isn't explored right now, and we're kind of on the cusp of it being something. And I'm pretty sure this is like a big hint of what's coming in the next part of the set. These, mind you, are all the runner cards that say the word tag on them and interact with tags. Classically in Netrunner, and even as soon as the last rotation, we had a bunch of decks that runners would be tag me decks. You go out of your way to take tags because tags were inherently good for you. We technically still have one really strong payoff tag card in the format. Mind you, there are some false positives here because tag shows up when you search sabotage. It's very hard to separate those because I guess unless we can do... I figured it out. We have the technology. But the one big payoff card we had in the format was counter surveillance, which says like access X cards, X is equal to the amount of tags that you have. So if you have like, you know, 15 tags, you run R&D, so 15 cards. And that's obviously very, very powerful. Now, we're starting to see some like tag me stuff, and we see tag show up on a lot of runner cards. Things like Iru is clearly a card that is missing a home because it's missing a bit more support. And I wouldn't be surprised that the upcoming Anarch from the new set either cares about connections or cares about tags, because we saw a lot of resources, and tags and resources don't really work well together. And we didn't see like that coherent of a game plan across most of the Anarch cards besides the Trash Themselves package, which obviously is doing pretty well. So I want to see what it can do if we want to play Tag Me, but play Tag Me in a weird play I didn't play. Because Tag Me Criminal in the not float tags, but I'm going to get tags and remove tags, especially like Security Nexus type decks, were some of my favorite decks in the post-rotation. And there's a bunch of cards here that I've honestly never played. I don't think this is going to be like competitively tier 1, but we're going to do a bit of exploration and we're going to see how things look. And my favorite card is Rogue Trading. And Rogue Trading is super notable of being one of the few cards that firstly has 18 credits on it. That's an absurd number. But one of the few cards in the criminal card pool that allows you to get money without engendering interaction. You can just sit back and take money off of this. You spend 2 clicks to take 6 credits. So that's actually pretty good as however you take a tag at the end of that. And taking a tag at the end of that's pretty bad if you want to clear the tag using manual means, because then you're spending 3 clicks for 4 credits. That's ass, let alone the click that you spend for the Rogue Trading that has to come down. That's obviously really bad. So these sort of decks only existed back in the day because we used to have a card called Citadel Sanctuary that has rotated that allowed you to clicklessly clear a tag at the end of your turn based off of a trace. And if you have a link, you don't pay into the trace because the corp doesn't pay into the trace. And you literally had a button to do 2 clicks into 6 credits, and you could build whole criminal econ engines off the back of this. But tags are in a weird spot right now where it's hard to clear tags on tempo. It's hard to clear a lot of tags. The best tag clearing tech, we have a couple. It's like HANA, okay, Baya bands, okay. Networking, I wish this was worded slightly different. But the one thing that I really want to try out is Thunder Art Gallery, which I've never played before. And I'm not convinced it's amazing. But the idea here is if we start clearing tags, we can actually make that work for us. The idea is we spend an action to clear 2 for a tag, we get to install a card at reduction of cost by 1. And there's a chance that we can make clearing a tag on a somewhat regular basis make sense for us. It also lets us play, I think, a card that is probably a bit undervalued right now. I think Bachlan Botchkin is kind of a way better card than it's ever been, unfortunately. Like, it just never saw this light of day. And the downside for Bachlan Botchkin, unfortunately, is that you take a tag. So hopefully we have some sort of synergistic engine where we can take tags and remove tags. There are other good payoff cards. Like, I'm not actually sure if we end up playing counter surveillance because we're not floating a lot of tags. We might be actually kind of incentivized to try out Iru Ayase Posoa, which I've never played so far. And that could be kind of fun as much as 3 influence. Oh my God. And then the other card we want to play is Hot Pursuit, which is a really good tag payoff card. Run HQ gain 9 credits before the run, so for the access, is a really, really good payoff card. And I think Rogue Trading and Hot Pursuit are on their own, if you have a way to manage tags that makes sense for you, are worth building decks around. I think they're so strong. So we'll see how that works out. Let me catch up on chat. Slightly sad that I on stream twice, but they were both runner games. Chris, I saw your name. I know you're doing well. Did I cast one of your games? It's been a while. I think I saw Drager cast a Yan game. Maybe we did. How did it go, though? How was Italian Nationals? That's probably something worth mentioning. For those who went, how was Italian Nationals? Tag me so fun. John, how's it going? I think a bummer that's going to be that we're going to run into, and I was really surprised to see this on the basis that if we might see more cards in the near future that, you know, interact with tags, especially in the upcoming set potentially, is the text on Reality Plus is kind of shit. It says the first time each turn the runner takes a tag. And right now, let me tell you, there's a lot of Reality Plus out there. I think it's the most common idea I run into when I play JNet casual games. And so that's really quite bad when the thing that you are doing is also helping the corporation. I would argue if Reality Plus is at least like 25% of the field, 40% of the field, and it's to some extent the tag punishment doesn't matter because we're clearing the tag. But the idea is that we spend 2 clicks to gain 6 credits and then have to clear a tag, and the corp gains 2 credits or 2 card draw. Throw me into the ocean. That's terrible. I think for something like this, this needs to say whenever the corp gives the runner a tag, or there needs to be some change to text like this. But I think Reality Plus is in a really, really, really powerful state right now. And if we just continue to put runner tag me cards, it might even be better going forward. And this archetype might just be strictly unplayable. So we have to keep that in mind, is that this matchup is just going to be super, super cursed. And there's no way that we want to be giving the corp 2 credits or 2 card draw every turn. It's like really weird how that turns out to be like the same text as Asmari. When you play against Asmari, you just kind of like try and play around it. But inherently, like, removing tags is kind of a bit worse than just playing your operation. So it's slow for us and maybe good for them. I'm kind of worried about that. You're basically turning R plus into Asmari. Yeah, it's not a place you want to be, but not only Asmari, you have the ability to let them card draw and then they can react to you. Maybe we'll have enough tag tech that like their ice gets less good because we can like, oh, we have so many ways to clear tags. Like we're playing 2 networking unironically, right? We'll see how it is. It's also worth noting this is kind of cool too. And HANA is really interesting design for the upcoming set if the upcoming set has more tag payoff cards, because this is actually a very interesting card. There was almost no cards like this that could clicklessly give you a tag if you set things up. With HANA, you can run the remote server, and if it's uniced or if the outermost ice is end the run, you can just go spend a click to gain a tag. And there were some really convoluted decks back in the day with like Jack Sinclair, which was another card that said when you can make a free run in the beginning of your turn. And then you would also go ahead and play back in the day something similar to DreamNet was, you know, what was the name of the guy who's up logging with babes? Who's that doof called? Not Doof, but the real doof. Masanori, thank you, Alec. John Masanori was a card we had back in the day, which was kind of like a DreamNet, right? It was neutral, it came down. The first time you make a successful run, draw a card, but the first time you make an unsuccessful run each turn, take 1 tag. So the idea is you get your 0th click, you run whatever, you would jack out, get a tag. And then back in the day, we had like really strong tag punishment for the runner for having a single tag. This unfortunately is super toxic card, but one of my favorite cards of all time. Install only if you made a successful run on Central Server this turn. You can do this at any point. And then if you're tagged, you could spend a click to force the corp to basically trash the top card of R&D. Not sabotage exactly, but you'd be like data leak, data leak, data leak, data leak, and then you'd remove the tag clicklessly with the Citadel Sanctuary. And I'm just pointing that out because in theory, if there is a single tag like payoff within the runner card pool, this is the first card we've had in a long time that clicklessly allows you to tag yourself. And that's kind of fascinating if we have tag payoff cards, because you can't just do like Hannah, get a tag, then clear the tag on a click, either with Hannah or without Hannah. I don't think you crack Hannah right away. A lot of these cards were in my Sunny deck. Yeah, exactly, Fink. That was like the Sunny DLR deck, which was never like amazing, but it was pretty fun. And I think it was one of the first Sunny decks I built when Sunny came out. What's funny is Thunder Art Gallery acronym is TAG. Yeah, the TAG. I've never played the TAG. We'll see how it goes. I can't find any Netrunner meetups in my area. Maybe I'm looking in the wrong place. Yeah, Mike War, what is that place, if you don't mind? There's two things I can recommend really heavily. The first one is Green Level Clearance Discord channel. I don't have the link on YouTube, but I have the link on Twitch. You can also find most of these links by going to nearethhub.net, which is a repository of Netrunner links. If you go on here, there should be a link to a Discord channel called Green Level Clearance, which is like the best Discord channel for Netrunner. And you can go in there. There's a lot of like looking for players. There's a lot of regionalized server zones. You can be like, hey, I'm in Ohio, whatever. You'll ask, you'll find it there. The other thing you can always do, and I don't reckon this is super well updated, but Null Signal Games has like a communities tab. So if you go to, I think it's players, you go to community. If you go here, you might be able to search your area and say we go to France. It'll be like, oh, Paris, we have weekly nights at this place. This is our Facebook group. This is our section, stuff like that. So there's a chance you have something here. Maybe you don't. But those two places are definitely the first place to check, besides shouting out where you are here. And then somebody might be able to respond in a comment. Let me catch up on chat. Hey, Ned tag. Thunder Egg Galley is a really difficult card to play if you're using the basic action card to remove tags. I agree. I don't think we can do the basic action card. I think we need some sort of tricks. Like, I think as soon as you play networking, it's a fair bit better. My huge frustration is networking doesn't cost 1, and the cost is here, because we cannot use things like prepaid voice pad or Mystic Miami to play for this. If we could clear a tag creditously, if networking like shifted the costs around, and obviously that would make it a less interesting card, this would be so much cooler. It's unfortunate that you can never play this for free. If I wasn't inept and lazy, I'd go back and deepfake a big edit of every time you curse Red Plant Couriers using its phrases. I only got on stream during the Top Cut, went 5th. Hey, congratulations. The event was great. Had a lot of fun. Did the on-sale ganked loop twice during the team event. Ooh, there was a player we were watching that was doing on-sale ganked stuff. Basically turning R plus numbers right. We're definitely missing something for the next set to make Eru more viable. Yeah, it's like very obvious there's something very, let alone solidarity badge. Like the fact that this allows you to clear a tag clicklessly at the start of your turn, which is like the worst time possible to clear a tag if you're tagging yourself generally, is really fascinating. So the fact that like 3 of the Anarch cards cared about tags in the upcoming set or in the last set, like obviously we're missing something. I heard a suggestion from one of the QTM podcasts. I'm not sure who exactly claimed this, but if the upcoming Anarch identity, which I think a lot of people are predicting might be, I forget the name of the guy, Francesco maybe? The dude who's on a bunch of the arts. It could be like you're considered to have 1 fewer tag for each connection you have installed. I'd like that. Or you're just considered to have 1 fewer tag. That's fun because then you can play tag me and you can clear the tag without having your board messed up. I think there's also like a huge connection tribal. Like Anarch got 3 or 4 connections, and NSG was like very prominent in their marketing material to be like, the set has a lot of connections in it, which is true, but also like not in an important way. But like Anarch got Hannah, it got Eru, it got Lago, the shelter. I think there's another connection they got too, but there seems to be something about tags and connections and the whole sort of like familial theme, like we're working together, strike fun family. That is a huge theme. So I'd be super surprised if the upcoming Anarch did not care about like, you know, tribal synergy of some sort. I would not be surprised if R plus gets banned at some point. Me neither. I would not be surprised if R plus gets banned at all. I don't know how soon it's going to be. And I think it's the sort of thing too, where like NSG is like really, they probably want to see the next set come out before they consider an R plus ban, because there seems like the structure and like the whole texture of what a tag can be and should be is going to heavily change in the upcoming set, especially if like say a very popular Anarch interacts with tags favorably. That might make R plus less exciting, but I think R plus is messed up. Complains about odd and RPC, but DLR is a favorite card of Andre's, kind of telling. Yeah, but you see how you lose though. The lose is there. It's on the table. You don't just lose out of nowhere. Tuning live when I bake some bread. Hey, Cephalopod, how's the bread going? How you doing? The community's page will be vastly improved in the future, I promise. Yeah, no, I've heard that for sure. The spreadsheet pin in GLC is probably the most up to date. Lucille, how's it going? Oh, like a community spreadsheet? I'm not sure Montreal's on that. I need to look into that. Tuning in as I work on the next Cyberfeeder release. It's getting close. Yo, Rahi, how's it going? I'm a huge fan of Cyberfeeder. I think that's obvious. If you ever want like feedback or stuff, YouTube does a really bad job is that if someone responds to a comment, it doesn't let me know. It doesn't. So I have to go back and check. You might have responded to my comment because I asked that question, but I'm a huge fan of Cyberfeeder. Well done on the work. There was so much more into playing with or against DLR than the soul card suggests. Fun times. Yeah, it was actually like a fascinating card. The sort of decks that like sat back and just like DLR'd and cleared the tag, those didn't exist. All the very good DLR decks were actually ending their turn tagged. So there was technically ways you could deal with it. As much as those decks were obviously tier 1 and very, very powerful if you didn't know how to play into them. They're going to reprint Lies. Solidary is really nice against the first tempo oppo. It is, but like Drew, nobody plays it. Because like only like a Lu deck plays it and they start playing, I don't know, 3 of them. Now they're down to 2 of them. And it's good. It's definitely good. It's like one of the best on tempo ways to clear a tag. And if you trashed a card to get oppoed, you obviously are going to have a power counter here. I do agree. It's really cool, but it just like doesn't make sense, unfortunately, in the modern meta. Piotr, what's up? I'm doing well. That's exactly my speculation for New Anarchy, right? Euro, Wheels, Lago, Debbie, Beatrice. Yeah. Is that it? I thought there might be one more. Do you have an idea when to expect the next set? Ian, their updates say specifically it should be about Q1 of 2024. They do kind of updates monthly to tell you if they're on timeline or not. Usually their releases are slightly later than you think they are. That's not criticism. That's fine. But Q1 of next year. And there would be a bigger release later in the year with the new set. Yo, Rahi, you reminded me about something. I just want to show this because I was really excited about this thing. And now it's in. I want to take all the credit for this. I actually know credit for this. How many people play Arkham here? Because I got my stink out on the world and I'm really excited about this. Solitary Badge is incredible and Lu versus Asset Surplus. Yes, it seems really, really good in there. Which one of these is the wide cam? Okay, so there's an app. If you play Arkham Horror Card Game, this will be an Arkham tangent for only 2 minutes. And it's called Arkham Cards. And it's really, really, really good. It's an app that does everything for you. And I've used Arkham Apps Card for forever, the apps, and it lets you like go through a scenario and set it up and do all that good stuff. I had a problem and I said to my friend, who is a web dev guy, hey, there's something here that I wish was slightly different. Can we fix it? I think it's hard to show unless I need to be able to show this off, but to be able to show this off, I need to open a scenario because otherwise I'll just say view results, I think. Okay, no, I can do it, I think. Yeah, okay. So when you get to some part like this, these are meant to be the encounter cards that your sets that you add to your game. And there's sometimes a lot of them, right? And above it, you see there's text and it says like, these are the nightmare masks, locked doors, nightmares, cults of narcotic. And if you don't know what they are, it's hard to like match them up. So now the update, and this is all Wasa, the same person who did the Twitch plugin on JNet. If you now hold them, it highlights the name of the set, which is such a sick feature. Simple feature, but now I can know when I'm putting together my bag. I don't have to be like, oh, that's the third one, which lines up the third one of the text. You just poke it and it says locked doors when you touch it. It's sick. It's so easy. And now when I'm setting up, I can just poke it and be like, oh, we need Returns to Threat of Fate. Oh, we need Panaconic Brotherhood. Oh, we need Midnight Masks, and we're good to go. So if you're ever missing that one icon, you don't know what it is, think of me. We got your back. Thank you to Remy. Thank you to the team at Arkham Cards. This is why community feedback is important. Yeah. I didn't know work in this, but I'm going to take all the credit. Anyways, enjoy Arkham. It's really good. Where am I going back? It's this one. Need more Arkham content? Renata, there was a post recently where people were on like, you know, Arkham Horror on Reddit and they're like, hey, I know there's a divisive conversation about Scarlet Keys. What do you really think about it? And then there's like 100 responses being like, it's the worst for this reason. I really like it. It's the worst, right? And it made me think like, oh man, I need just an hour so we can talk about Scarlet Keys. I'm hoping early next year we'll get into that. We'll actually do Arkham content again. Now it's easier to get tricked into reading that out loud. Yeah, Mel, I'm not going to say that. The ploy is there. Yeah. Arkham player here. Yo, Zubal, how's it going? Rohit also. Hey. Okay, cool. Let's get into the deck building. I'm not sure what ID we play here. I think like the problem is we want to get tags. We also need to be installing cards to make Thunder Art Gallery make sense. Again, for those who you might have heard this before, but for those who haven't played FFG for a while, there used to be this ID that came alongside things like Thunder Art Gallery and Hot Pursuit. That was Liza Talking Thunder. 50 card minimum generally means that the ability is seen to be powerful, and you're meant to dilute that with like a bit of a more inconsistent deck. But Liza says the first time you make a successful run on a central server each turn, draw 2 cards and take a tag. That was messed up. And abstractly, you could see two kinds of Liza decks. The one Liza deck that cleared a tag every turn, but the Thunderheart Gallery, so you don't end up tagged, but you still get good value on the card draw. But then you saw every Liza deck which just said, I'm a tag me deck. I don't care. I'm going to run archives and draw 2 cards for a single click as soon as turn 1. And that deck was super, super busted. There was like a week where it won every single Nationals in a row, and then it got banned out pretty quickly after that. I think White Blade won like 2 Nationals in like 2 weekends. Suddenly Dorm Computer became more relevant and got banned. I'd argue that it's good for Dorm Computer to get banned. And I don't think it was a Liza problem. But there's also this card called Dorm Computer. There was one influence that came out and it saw no play and then suddenly got banned out of nowhere. It says place 4 power counters on Dorm Computer when you install it. As a click hosts a power counter, you make a run, avoid all tags for the remainder of the run. And I totally agree with the banning of this, because back in the day, there was a whole lot of decks that all their ice cared about tagging you. And that was a relevant thing to do. It's fun that you can explore that as like a win condition, but having a 1 influence 0 cost card that just says I can run and your ice does nothing, it's not fun. Like, it's just, the matchup is not interesting anymore. And so they banned this card so that they can print NBN ice that is more interesting. You can argue whether we got there. What do you think about playing Mercs as punitive tech? I think it's a bit slow. I think Mercs is like pretty low on the options of punitive tech. I think if you're, so Mercs is another tag technically card that gives you meat damage protection. I think if you're worried about punitive, you're much better off doing one of two things. Either working on your economy, which is important. Sometimes it's hard to do economy, but I'd rather just play like some amount of influence on other tech cards that you can put in your deck to deal with that. Like a Stone Chip Chart Room is not bad for 1 influence, and it's a way better on-tempo card than your Ogniv Mercs, which you have to install and clear the tag. That just having ability to draw up cards, having Steelskin Scarrings, right? Like it's a lot easier to not die in ways that are better in other matchups than having your Ogniv Mercs, which is a dead card in, I would say, probably 90% of the matchups you expect to see at any event. So that's not good. That being said, I think if your Ogniv Mercs, if there's a lot of meat damage going around, your Ogniv Mercs is one of the better meat damage protection cards. But right now in Netrunner, it feels better to just like have more flexible options. So like Stone Chip Chart Room, obviously you're playing Steelskin anyways. I wouldn't go quickly to your Ogniv Mercs, for sure. Padma's Dorm Computer. Yeah, right, Vectors? You charge it forever? They banned it because of Haley for the Argus matchup? Yo, Ian, was it that bad? I've never saw it hit the table. We released our thoughts on TSK on the Murcast. We needed 2 episodes of Fully Expressed and still feel I need more. I need to catch up on that. Oh shit, okay. I've listened to some content creators, but like, holy crap, the amount of time you could talk about TSK, it's like so absurd. How many different things, like different, because it's like the most ambitious Arkham product. And, you know, I won't bury the lead here. I think it's one of my least favorite Arkham products because it's the sort of thing where there's a lot of opportunity and like a lot of promise, but then it doesn't capitalize on it well, right? Like that's the hard thing about building an open world story, is that like, you have to make your decisions matter, or at the end of the day, it's not an open world. You just shuffle the pieces around. And to me, that's a lot what it feels, but then there's a lot of other stuff on it. I will check up on that. That's really cool. Yeah, I don't know. I was really fascinated. Someone said this in the discussion too, but like it should be still a fair bit of work, but I'd be really interested to hear if someone can take together all of the scenarios from from TSK and just put them together in a linear campaign, like no different than any of the other campaigns you expect in Arkham Horror, and obviously give you some decisions to make, so some things matter. But basically, if you can take the content within TSK and if you can put it into a more orthodox campaign structure, what would I do? Because would I like it? Would people like it? Would that be more approachable? And I think for a lot of people that might be, you know, a better product for them. Not that I'm upset that like they went out and shot their shot and tried something interesting and different. The problem is Arkham content comes out now once a year, so when it misses hard. Anyways, I'd love to see that structure, the campaign restructured. Miscon University Radio, I've had a big Arkham podcast hiatus, but I need to get back into it. Yeah, damn you are. Dorm Computer restricted for 1 of 2 MWLs before it was banned. I totally forgot about that. Hey Spark, I think, or was it just banned? I think it was just banned. Yeah, it was an ban. It was a weird ban, but I get it. It's the sort of card that just says like, oh, your opponent's playing this, the matchup kind of stinks. But hey, we had we had Film Critic forever, so whatever. I read really harsh criticism of Edge of the Earth so far. We're having a blast. I think Edge of the Earth is one of my favorite campaigns. I love that for TSK. When I did it, I only did 5 scenarios. The first time I did TSK, we only played 4 scenarios. And admittedly, if you do a bit of research, it tells you where the scenarios are and where the reading is. But the first time me and my partner played it, we played it a lot. We had to redo once. You're not meant to redo scenarios, but I think there's one scenario we had to constantly redo because it has really bad scaling. And specifically, they got the rules text wrong on a card and they had to errata it. Otherwise, it's a very, very difficult scenario. And we did not know that for our first 2 playthroughs. But yeah, I think TSK linearly would be way more interesting because I think the unlinear nature of TSK is unfortunately the worst part of it. I think Edge of the Earth is amazing. I think Edge of the Earth is one of my favorite campaigns by far. To let you know where I stand, I think my favorite campaigns are by far Forgotten Age. I think Edge of the Earth is after that. I haven't played Carcosa in a long time. That classically was my favorite, but I haven't played in such a long time. Innsmouth slaps. I think Circle and Done, for being kind of difficult, has some of the most interesting campaign or scenario choices, which is really wild to think that like Circle and Done, which is on rails, I think has much more interesting story implications of your choices compared to TSK, which is meant to be an open world adventure. And like that kind of shows you how hard it is to make a really compelling open world adventure because your choices don't matter in that thing. Okay, sorry, what Billy deck? Excuse me, Arkham Talk. It's a good game. Netrunner deck. Forgotten Age is also my fave, so it makes sense reviving with the Penguins. Yeah. Edge of the Earth feels like Forgotten Age, but it's more forgiving and has a fair bit more narrative into it with like, you know, characters and stuff like that. But it feels like the stakes are higher because when you lose a team member, it's surprisingly shit. It feels bad. Dark Computer was restricted in MWL 3.1. It was still restricted when SG took over and removed the restricted category, then was unbanned. Wait, really? That's so surprising, Spark. Thanks for doing the research. I would not have guessed that. Okay, so we need to install stuff. We need to get tags. We also want to be running HQ. Maybe it was unbanned because Liza was banned. I don't think Dorm Computer's ban had to do much with Liza. I think Dorm Computer was banned because of NBN. I don't think the Dorm Computer association with Liza ever came up in the discussion of why it might have been restricted or banned. We have a friend who's very good at loud reader, made the walls of text a non-issue. I did a really good reading of the opening of Edge of the Earth. It was like one of my best readings I've ever done. I play with three francophones, Quebecois players who English is not their first language, so I'm de facto the English reader. I read it once really well, and I did all the character voices. I was so proud of it. And then it's only downhill from there. Okay, so what do you want to do? The link on 419 doesn't matter that much more because our tags are not removed. We want to be able to install enough things. Ken is kind of interesting. I want to explore more Ken. I think Debbie is better than she looks. 17 influence is nice, but most of her tag package is within faction. Az installs things. Yeah, Az does install things. And like Flip Switch on tempo is a bit better for clearing tags. Bachlan on tempo is better for clearing tags, especially with Prog Q Loop. Prog Q Loop doesn't really matter with Thunder Art Gallery because Thunder Art Gallery you have to install from hand, right? Because Thunder Art Gallery is just a normal install, yeah. The first time you would avoid or remove a tag, you may install a card from your grip. So you don't actually have to do the prog stuff. And I think Az probably makes the most sense because if we are playing Flip Switch and we're playing Bachlan, like Class Act, Iru is a connection, there's probably enough synergies here. Dorm Computer is significantly worse than the era of Funhouse where you literally cannot pass the same as just Minder. Yeah, you have to either take a tag or end the run, excuse me. And if you can't take the tag, the Funhouse ends the run. I found it really funny too, like when you enter ever accidentally, and sometimes it's good. But when you banhar into a funhouse and you're like, I would like, you know, you can't. All right, so let's play some tag cards. So we have to first color collection to standard. And so this leaves us with a very few tag cards. We'll see how it goes. So Credit Kiting, this actually is a really good tag payoff card. Unfortunately, we forgot to mention this one, but this card is a very good tag payoff card. And I'd argue it's one of the tag payoff cards that's actually still worth playing, even if you're clearing the tag through basic means. Install your card from your grip, lowering its install cost by 8 and take a tag. That's actually kind of good. Now, the problem is we don't have that many cards that are that expensive anymore that makes sense with the rest of this deck. The idea that we can get down an Amina is really expensive. That's nice. But even in a lot of cases, and this is more based off of when you could clear the tag clicklessly and creditlessly, if you installed a 4-cost card with Credit Kiting, you're actually in a pretty bad, okay spot, right? The idea that you could Credit Kiting down a 4-cost Earthrise Hotel and then you clear the tag for no clicks, that means that this is like, you know, slightly better, mind you, than a Career Fair, but it's still good. Wheels and Missbones are also connections that will definitely need economically positive installs. Yes, yeah, I think so. That's actually a good idea. Bug Out Bag? I don't think Bug Out Bag does anything with this. Mercury, Credit Kiting, and Fem? Yeah, the problem is like, then the rest of the deck doesn't make sense. But yeah, I've not tried yet the sort of Fem Mercury decks with like, I don't know, the inspiration, whatever. Kiting Lost Nexus is really just Amina now. You have Femme Fatale. Femme Fatale's like not the worst card. It's actually kind of good into the NBN matchup. If you can find a Funhouse or a Hydra or something. We updated the rulings. You can now Credit Kiting a Bug Out Bag. Wait, what? That's why? Sorry. So Bugga Bag is this weird thing that allows you to draw out when you empty your deck. But apparently, because this thing costs X, you can pay 8 less and get a 8 card draw once you empty your hand. That's interesting. That's really interesting. Bugga Bag is one of those weird cards where it's like it's missing one piece before it's like kind of an economic engine of some sort, or like actual engine worth looking into. But the interaction with credit kiting is definitely favorable for this card. Very, very cool. Neat. I don't think we need to do it, but that's actually kind of cool. Maybe actually we do need to do that, because having 8 cards in hand means that we can like really install a lot of stuff easily with Thunder Art Gallery. Did you see Tuno's Bug Out Bag deck? No, I didn't. Give a link. Maybe if I just search Bug Out Bag, it'll be like the only deck on NetRunnerDB. All right, we'll put 2 in. We have to empty our hand though, and like that's sometimes really hard. Inherently, as also like plays some amount of unique connections, unique hardware. So emptying your hand is actually like realistically kind of difficult. So we're probably gonna cut this, let's be honest, but it's kind of cool. FFG reasoning made no sense. Also, you can credit kiting in Angel Arena for those Eternal Sickos. Oh, that is a runner card, isn't it? Okay, so Angel Arena allows you just to like scry your deck as many times as you want for as many counters on it. That's kind of cool. This card I've never played before. I don't know why you would. Reveal the top card of your stack. You may add that card to the bottom of your stack. Great. You can access over 10 cards in RE with Severnius. Oh, I have seen a Severnius implant stack. Yeah, Severnius, like, so back in the day for Bug Out Bag, we had Theophilus Bagbiter, which like was a reason to do it. Let alone the bag in the name. But the only other reason to do this is like Severnius Stim Implants, which is still an interesting card in standard. It just is probably less powerful than all the other multi-X's you can get. It's still quite expensive. This gets a bit better with the trash from hand synergy, but this card allows you to discard 2 cards to access 1 additional card from Essentials, but you have to make a run on it yourself. Yeah, I have seen some Severnius Stim Implants deck. We used to play Severnius Stim Implants back in the day, and the thing is like, there's ways to get hand size in the format. The problem is that there's not ways to fill your hand size. Because in Shaper right now, it's actually like quite possible to get ridiculous hand size by like playing Hippocampic and then charging it along Padma. Like you can get really big hand size in Shaper. But the issue is that we don't have a way to refill your hand size. And we used to have it back in the day. Like these are the reasons why you could play like big hand size decks with Theophilus Bagbiter, is that we used to have a double that just says fill your hand. And if Shaper gets a card like this, like the closest right now we have to it and nobody's playing is Joyride, which like draw 5 cards on a single event is a lot. And that's usually as much as you get from game day. But if you're building into it. But I think there's like, we're 1 or 2 weird engine pieces away from having like big hand make sense in, I guess, maybe 2 factions potentially. But unfortunately it doesn't. We're talking about the Bug Out Bag host from Nats CUS. I think so, yeah. I think it was told Yan was playing one. For Severnius in our meta, we just had a brick playing max with 3x diesel and 3x up head worse. Yep. And like at the end of the day, was it better than back in the day you could play medium? Probably not, but it was cool. Okay, so let's go back to the tag. Hot Pursuit, really good. We can play 3 of these. We're going to clear the tags, so we'll play 2 networking. Hopefully that's enough. Other tag stuff, we have Flip Switch. We can play 2 of these. It's like technically an okay way to clear a tag. It's not that much better than No Free Lunch. It is hardware though that sometimes eats into our ability. Sometimes that's nice. That's in our ability. So I don't know how to feel about this. I don't know if we're playing Masterwork. I'm not sure if there's a better console for us. I guess we want to install hardware to draw ourselves forward. So maybe there is. Maybe you still play Masterwork because you play as. In terms of program, nothing says the word tag on it. In Criminal, I think there is an Anarch Breaker that gives you a lot of tags. How does Patchwork interact with Thunder Gallery? Totally normal. You can use Patchwork whenever you install a card. It doesn't care where the installation comes from, I'm pretty sure. I think Patchwork just says whenever you install. Rogue Trading 3x. Okay, it's slow. It's a connection? No, it's a job. Oh, sake, we can save a credit. We have No Free Lunch. No One Home doesn't really matter. So we can get a 0 card Bug Out Bag. Bachland, I think, is like a bit under, like, I think what Bachland does is actually potentially really, really powerful. We just haven't seen like the aggro, like Gabriel Santiago deck that just drops a Bachland and starts running stuff. And then of course, we probably shouldn't play 3 of these, but we're going to play 3 of these because that's what the deck is about. And hopefully that doesn't absolutely ruin us. Other things we'll play, 3 Sure Gamble, of course, to start. So far here, we're going to need more connections. So we're really good at playing connections specifically. Class Act, obviously, an absolute bomb, especially when you play it for 3 credits. That's a nice thing to get down. Asmoon, he's a connection, I guess. Has some guns for sale. Still don't know if Asmoon is better than just like any other draw option you can get, but at least viruses can be interesting. Weapons can be okay, I guess, sort of, not really. It's a bummer that I think every single weapon that came out of the last set sucks currently. It's not really worth playing. What else do we want to get in here? Class Act, I think we play 3 Class Act. For 3 credits, like, you can't go wrong. I'm wondering here if we start playing Career Fair, it's probably better than Credit Kiting, Bug Out Bag. Ears both the connection and tag card. Yeah, Warlock, how's it going? We were definitely going to play Eero. That was one of the few tag cards from the new set that looks like it's something, and we only play 1. If we find it, we find it. It's 3 influence, whatever. Debbie's amazing. I think Debbie's fine. It's just not going to be fine in this deck because I don't think we're going to play that many run events. We have to play a lot of hardware. But I think Debbie needs to see more play than she is. You just have to build a deck slightly around it. I don't think you can just drop it into a criminal deck and feel okay about it. I appreciate the Asmon can just sit there holding your tool until you're the turn you want to play it. Yeah. But like, I appreciate my card is not doing much. It's like, it's one way to say it. Also, Eric, I know you put together. I totally forgot that Virtuoso was a console. I just literally slipped my mind that it was a console. And then seeing the deck that you played on last night, which like those sort of decks really, I don't know. I feel like those sort of decks are okay. We're being a bit critical here. We can always pull off this path whenever we want, Andre. You don't have to do this. I worry that the sort of decks that are like, hey, I'm gonna play, what's it called, Mercury, and I'm gonna slam centrals, and I'll cheat through 1 ice, and I'll see 3 cards. Like, it can be fun, and you get into a bit of a slot machine. But I worry that those sort of game plans often they make you not consider where are the agendas. They make you consider where can I get accesses. And I think genuinely in the progression of becoming a better Netrunner player, those decks are kind of bad for getting better at the game if that's something you want to do. Because you end up in a board state where it's like, okay, well, I have limited options. The only thing I can run here is HQ to see 3 cards, so I'm going to do it. But if you look at the board state, you can probably say, like, there's probably no agendas in HQ, because why would the corporation keep agendas in HQ? I'm doing nothing to challenge the remote server. And so you end up in this situation where you're running what you can run as opposed to running what you should run for the narrative of the game. I'm working on a replay review right now, and it's a Zaya game, and I think the player actually plays relatively well. But you end up in these situations where it's like, I know I can run HQ with Zaya and I can see 4 cards and get 4 credits, but at the end of the day, that's sometimes not the right play to do, because the corporation iced up R&D heavily and they iced up the remote server heavily. If they had an agenda, it's in the remote server. So we're wasting our resources, especially our limited resources in like a Mercury deck of that construction, just to get accesses that are very unlikely to do anything. You know what I mean? Virtuous has been done dirty. Well, yeah, because the text on it. I don't think we can play Bug Out Bag in this. It's hard to get 0 cards in hand with duplicate uniques. Yeah, no, not dead. I was saying that. I think we have to cut it for sure. Also, take that back. Weapon Slander, Poison Vial, sick. I think Poison Vial we need to play more of, but like I think we'd play Poison Vial with like in either an Az or an Ari. You're 100% right. I don't mean to be harsh, but I think it's like a really interesting thing to keep track is whenever you're playing a deck, you want to play a deck that allows you to do the thing generally that lines up with the narrative of the game. And whenever you find yourself in a game that you're doing the thing that is the only thing you have access to, now we're playing a slot machine. And sometimes slot machine's fun. I try to cheat that with Chrysopian. Yes, I know. Oh man, you played Chrysopian skimming on turn 1, and there's a Spin Doctor and a Vampire NASA, both on the table, both death fired, which is like quintessentially why also Chrysopian skimming can be a bit scuffed in a lot of board states, but it's hilarious. Chrysopian click turn 1, you see an agenda, you run Spin Doctor, Vampire NASA. It's like, okay, well, shit. Virtuous biggest sin is the number in the top left corner. Yes. If it gave 2 MU, I think it would be interesting. Because I think Criminal wants access to a 2MU console for certain lists that just want to play greedy late game. So does Maui? Yeah, I know, but we want to have an ability that matters. Okay, let's get back on track here. Let's networking, hot pursuit, sure gamble, tag. We want a lot of little small things we can install. Let's try and get some hardware down. Bad access slot machine makes it possible for me to blame bad luck because I've accessed so many, right? Exactly. And I think that's another thing is like, then you're like, I've accessed 15 cards. What happened? It's like, well, you accessed R&D and the next turn you multi-access HQ. You're going to access the cards that you just saw off R&D. It doesn't make any sense. Cyberfeeder plans to add redaction of player names something in the future. That should make replay reviews, not next release though. Rahi, I appreciate it. I had to learn to edit the JSON files, which is not hard, but be able to do that. Rahi, I think my biggest feedback, because I don't know if you responded, if you're taking feedback here, is I would love to be able to reorganize the runner's heap, but not the bin for the corporation. Because corporation bin is ordered in discard order, but runner bin, like the order doesn't matter. You know what I mean? If I could separate those 2 options in the checkboxes, I would be super jazzed. Okay, Boomerang is really good. And are we playing? 3 Boomerang makes enough sense in as. I feel like Chrysopian is a very different story in person. Watching someone's reaction can be super telling. Yes, I think it does tell a lot about the board state, which is kind of fun. I think that is really cool. I think there's cool parts about Chrysopian skimming that are Not exactly, you know, what the card does, but what the card makes people do. You know what I mean? Like, that's fun. It is kind of cool. I like that the card exists. I just don't think I'll put it in a deck anytime soon. All right. So what else do we want here? Waking Plan is like, okay, we want to be running HQ. We have Hot Pursuits. They should be icing the HQ up. I think we can play one of these relatively well. I wonder if we're going to end up like, this is the problem, is we're going to end up playing a Chesva deck. What is actually really fascinating with Chesva is that in theory, if we're able to clear a tag mid-run, we actually can use Thunderhead Gallery and use the Chesva credits. Whoa, wait, that's true. We've discovered something here. If I run whatever central server, and then I use Flip Switch, we can remove a tag during the run if we float a tag. And that we can clear, which means we can use the Chesva credits because it's during a run to install a card. I know this is Baya bans, and like we'll probably get to that, but like we can technically do that. That's kind of weird. 3 NFL, yeah, NFL also does it. I think Flip Switch is probably okay as a hardware and as, but yeah, maybe we can do a bit of both. The idea is that like you can take a tag from Bocklin Botchkin and then clear the tag while installing a card is kind of neat. I think Archives and Heap Sorting is coming natively to JNet soon. Oh, Tret, how's it going? Sick. Next release, Heap Sorting will activate when you press Control key. JNet is also working on the same features, source per player, but you need to fiddle the options panel. Thank you, Rai. That's sick. Okay. What is our breaker suite? Okay, we want a console. 3 Masterworks sometimes makes sense. I'd argue that Prognostic, like this is the issues. We're going to end up with like a bloated as deck that also has like tag tech in it, incidentally. We have to make sure one doesn't outshine the other for better or for worse. Also with no free lunch, that's a really cool thing with no free lunch is that if we float a tag, we can clear the tag on the corporation's turn, which means we can install a hardware and getting a card draw if we install a hardware and one cheaper. So there's actually a big reason to run both Flip Switch and no free lunch. Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of click compression to install the no free lunches. It also doesn't work well with Prognostic Q loop, but that's a really cool interaction is that we can end our turn with a tag and then clear the tag as soon as the corporation's turn starts before they can do something with it. And that will trigger Thunder Art Gallery. I think that's kind of neat. I'm into that. We'll play Bravado because it's good. Our breaker suite, I don't think we have to do anything too fancy. Kurapira, probably play Amakua. Maybe we'll cut that. Shibboleth, we have influence to spend. What else? Is there any, there's no icebreaker that cares about tags besides God of War, right? What are we missing here? Sentry? Carmen, I guess. I'm actually kind of interested to play Echelon, considering we can have 4 breakers down and we have boomerangs as heavy backup, but that's kind of neat. We have 11 influence, and what are we missing as fundamentals in the Az deck? More hardware, right? Steelskin? I don't like to play Steelskin over either Baya bans or over Diesel generally. We don't intend to take damage. Like, if you ask me, Steelskin is good if you're taking damage, if you expect to take damage, otherwise you can save a credit and play Diesel, and we have no way of taking damage ourselves. Does this back make sense here? I don't like the back. I think the back is now just like a bit too slow for Netrunner. And the back also makes more sense in decks in which you have limited breaker options. So I used to play the back in Az. You played the back in Geist for a minute too. But the first time each turn you use hardware during a run, that's super simple. Prognostic fires all the time. Prognostic might be cut in this deck. You place a power counter here, and then you remove this resource from the game to shuffle up to X cards with trash can abilities from your heap into the stack. There are very few. It's only no free lunch, flip switch, if we biff a boomerang, and I think that's it. So it's small. It's maybe not 0. There's a chance that putting in all those, maybe that's kind of interesting, is putting all these back in the deck is kind of cool, but I think at that point in the game, like the game's probably already over, right? Hey, Weekly Business Show, how's it going? Any multi-access? I reckon we want to put a twinning in because we have 2 Chesva. That'd probably be the most like obvious solution, and then we can put a Docklands Pass because we have HQ pressure. We should have some multi-access for sure. Hey, Paul, how's it going? Could run a 20 package since you're on coffee. Yeah, that's great. Pinhole. Yeah, Pinhole also makes sense. And this is where like now our 2 things are working into each other. Like Pinhole is really good with Chesva, but now we're at the problem where like the tag package is probably the worst part of the deck. I'm doing all right. Thank you. We're trying to like play Thunder Gallery for better for worse, which, you know, I think Prognostic doesn't make sense with the amount of stuff we have. We're down to 47. We have 10 influence. This is again where you end up with like Hippo and Az lists because it says hardware on it. And it's like obviously not terrible. Yeah, is this a cool name or is this a weekly show? I was thinking about that. That's really okay. 2 networking. Maybe drop a networking. I think networking is really important. Oh, you're right. Dropping a network might make sense because we have so many other cards that can clear tags. I forgot that we added all the other nonsense. I wonder too. It's like, how much is too much? Is rotating too slow? Do we only need 2 rotating? What does avoid a tag mean? Some cards allow you to avoid tags. Whoa, actually, are there any ways to avoid tags in standard right now? Yes. I think No One Home? No? It's the name of my Italian YouTube channel for Netrunner. Oh, sick! Are there any ways to avoid tags? No. Paul, that's a really good question. There used to be cards that avoided tags. You just don't get them. They're replacement effects. So what's the name of that shaper identity? I'm not gonna know the name of. Oh man. No One Home doesn't avoid the tag. It just redoes the trace. Oh yeah, it does avoid. Okay, you're right. It does say avoid on it. Excuse me. So avoid just means it doesn't happen. So this is if unsuccessful, the runner avoids any number of tags. So they just don't happen. That's what avoid is. So you don't take the tag and remove it. You just don't have it. It's like straightforward, but I thought there'd be more cards. There used to be more cards like this that avoided tags back in the day. So like just Mender says, and it has to be an interrupt generally. The first time you would take a tag, prevent it. Weird how prevent is not avoid. Don't know what that's about. If we go to avoid and we just search the whole card pool. Yeah, okay, so we talked about, this was from the original core set. This saw no play. Avoid receiving a tag. So you just say, are you going to? No, I got you. It's again weird that this is not an interrupt. I'm not sure if it needs to be or not. I don't know how interrupts work. New Angeles City Hall was probably the most common card ever to see play that avoided tags. Whenever you would take a tag, you paid 2 credits and you just didn't. However, this thing trashed if you stole an agenda. This is really, really important. Prevent and avoid are equivalent. Ah, thanks, Bod. Yeah. Cool. But yeah, it's weird. It's not really relevant in the standard format, but it's nice to know that there technically was different text for that. I feel like here we've got a weird as deck. And City Hall? City Hall was a very important card for a long time. Now I wish I spoke Italian. It's not too late. It's never too late. You can get that little owl on your phone and he teaches you how to talk to your cat in Spanish. ¿Quieres jugar? That means you want to play, I think. Not actually sure. Oh, what do we do? We have 10 influence. The problem is like the tag pool is kind of flat. Like Trickster Taka, you technically can play Trickster Taka to take a tag. That's kind of weird. As much as it's not a really good thing to be doing. We could do it. We could play Trickster Taka. We're not going to flow tags to counter surveillance. Doesn't make sense. Solidarity Badge doesn't make sense. Hannah is like kind of interesting, but we don't want to take a tag. Owl has been keeping my phone hostage for over a year now. Yo, Drew, congratulations on your year of Owl. That's good. It takes a lot of effort to get that deep. The thing that I'm also worrying about is like, do we need Thunder Eye Gallery in our opening hand? Is Dummy Box still in the format? It is. Dummy Box is still in the format. This is one of the tag prevention things. So one of the bad sides of being tagged is that they can trash your resources. And this is a card. It wasn't the best card that did this, but is the card we have now that prevents that from happening as long as we have another resource in hand. So in theory, we could float a tag. And if they say, I want to trash your, I don't know, your class act, you say, no, I trash my class act from hand, which is generally the optimal class act to trash. Technically, not always. I'm worried that we're missing some sort of fundamentals here that I've just skipped my mind, but like we have 10 influence. How can we not figure it out? Are we actually just going to search for the highest influence card and go from there? We're also not playing Doof. Like, I guess we have Hot Pursuit, which arguably is better than Doof. Let's be honest. Also, I don't know if I said hi, Dan. Rip Deal is also kind of an interesting card. It's pretty expensive, but it's neat that this effect works with technically Docklands Pass and stuff like that. I don't think it's a great card, but you can do it. I want to play more Reprise. It's not going to be this decked. Hijack Router is better than Doof. It can be. I think Hijack Router is actually pretty reasonable. We can play it. It's a hardware. Yeah. Yeah, this card is really good in some metas. In other metas, it's okay. Is that a Matumbo reference? I don't know what Matumbo is. How are you doing? I'm not actually sure. Like, we have a lot of influence to spend here. Let's see what like cool tricks we have. On hardware, like the influence is really strange. There's only, yeah, not a lot of high influence hardware. Most of it's banned out. For Doof, I'm excited to see it in Dawn gives us a better Doof, somewhere between Doof and Siphon power levels. Yeah, I think so. And I think Threat might come in there. Just because like being blown out by Doof, I don't think people enjoy, but having that threat in the mid game is pretty fun. Throwing a Logic Bomb for fun, it's hard to throw in a resource, especially the 5 influence resource, especially for a deck also that has 3 Boomerang. Ciao, friends. I think YouTube broke notifications again. Mondi. Ciao. Unity's like not a bad sync, right? Like we're already on, you know, Shibboleth is okay, but like we definitely could spend some influence on that. But we only have 1 available now. Paladin? Yeah, Paladin seems fine. I think we can just do this and go back and play a shibby. All right, this is a weird, you know, midpoint between hardware as time bomb. So I'm not a big fan of playing sabotage unless you play a lot of sabotage, because sabotage scales not linearly, it scales exponentially. So doing one sabotage through the whole game, the corporation can just throw out 3 cards, but if you sabotage consistently turn over turn, then the choice becomes difficult. So it's very, very hard to feel good about putting one single sabotage card in your deck. Emergent creativity to find things. That card's still legal, right? I think a single hippo like kind of makes sense. It does make sense. So here we have 48 cards. What are we cutting down? Like, I think we cut down, let's cut down a class act. Yeah, whatever. We have a Thunder Art Gallery. How many ways do we have to tag ourselves? Rogue trading, that's technically a lot of tags. That's like 9 tags. We have 3 Hot Pursuit, that's more tags. We have Eru, that's a tag forever. I think this is reasonable. Is that enough? We have networking, we have 2 flip switch. Let's see what this draws like. This actually might be fine. Don't we need a mutual favor? I don't know. Maybe. Galehar, how's it going? There's a chance we do. There's a chance that 3 boomerang and enough draw if the masterwork doesn't. You can almost always do it. Oh, a Backlin too. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so let's functionally talk about how bad this is. This could be let's talk about how good this is. So we install a Thunder Art Gallery. We put a boomerang on HQ for 1 credit. We're on 4. We have to click for credit. We Hot Pursuit. We float a tag. We don't have time to put down this flip switch. If they don't ice HQ, heaven forbid, we have a turn here. Okay, this hand's good. If you beat R+ with this deck and tournaments, you get double points. I know. Oh, it's gonna be bad. David, how's it going? Good morning. Sure gamble. I think we just open with a Baya. We'll run whenever Central's open. Unfortunately, we get down a Thunder Art Gallery there. We could get down a flip switch, but it eats our, our reduction, so it's not great. We draw once here. Sure gamble. Okay. This hand's not great. Opening the hijack router feels pretty bad. What about if we drop the hijack router and we play like a Nuka? How about that? Because Nuka's nice, because then you have cards in hand, so you're likely to find your tag removal cards, and you're likely to have a target with Thunder Art Gallery. Because here, like, we buy whatever's available. We install Masterwork for free. It draws a card. This seems like a hand, right? We get Rogue Trading down, we get Tag down, and then we play Flip Switch next turn to draw a card. Okay, we have Networking. So next turn we can do Rogue Trading. We take a tag. We Networking to pay a card for the tag. The Flip Switch is installed. It maybe draws a card. This honestly doesn't sound terrible. I missed the point where we put Hijack Router in there. What was the thought there? It was a hardware, it was influence, and it's not the worst card into the meta. That was as far as it went. There's no synergy besides it's a hardware and it works. And it's like fine in the format. I don't know if we need a third Cheswa. On 3 Baya bands, a third Cheswa doesn't feel unreasonable. And the fact that we have like ways to clear tags during runs feels kind of reasonable. This feels okay. This looks reasonable. I'm going to keep saying reasonable. Let's just try it and then we'll see what we cut. Thunder as Gallery. Ooh, I don't. This is the worst part of my Netrunner game, is coming up with deck names. Axie would be proud. Does Axie like the Hijack Router a lot? I played Hijack Router at high tier events before. See, it seems like a hand reasonable. See, the hype is real. If you understand where my expectations were, we've sailed over them. And like, I think it's really good. I think I need to avoid being too pessimistic about it, but I think it's great that we can try out a deck and like take some time to do some, some actual legwork and figure out how bad that thing can be before we dismiss it. And if it just bricks and we play into R+, then we dismiss it forever and we've learned nothing. 2 man on our side, we mass Infinite Lou. On our last list, oh, that's sick. That's really good, Net Dead. The problem is it encourages people to say Lou as loop, which we got to stop doing that. I've even heard people who live here in Quebec call Lou loop, which for the amount of French speaking population here kind of sits poorly with me. No daily cast or Miss Bones. Oh, Carrie Potter. So the problem is we build a really greedy synergistic deck and then we get hammered by asset spam and then we add the meta tech cards, which Miss Bones should be in there. We do have no daily cast is probably fine. I don't think daily cast is actually a better card in most as lists. especially because we have rogue trading. But for real, Miss Bones is really easy to play in as because it works pretty well, mind you, with twinning, but also it comes down for 1 credit. And we're not going to have the greatest like early economy to be able to deal with the board. So yeah, I think obviously we probably end up cutting some bad cards. Oh, jeez, Jesus. Oh, Jesus, word for a ride. Oh, no. Oh, no. No, come on. Hey, really? 74 cards. Thanks, you too. This Bones in the deck, it's pure ID synergy. Yeah, I know. Welcome to Hell.deck. I had to do this last week. All right, well, we're actually pretty good at dealing with Surveyor. But get dunked, Logic. How's it going? I know. Is this guy famous or something? This guy? I don't know. He put out a good Zaya deck. I think that's as far as the praises go usually. And Moments of Brilliance where Q Looper Val goes viral. Virus Val deck with a Q Loop, nice, and Speedboat. All right. Any chance that we can just run that? I think we do just run that. We can get the Masterwork down for a Boomerang. We have Iru. All right. We're just going to force a res here. We're hoping it's a boarding control. It's a Sandstone. That's good. It's going to get resed. Rashida behind it, probably. And here we have used our ability. So we can run HQ, I think, for single. Did Eric keep? He kept. So on 2 credits, you can't really res much here. We can get a bit of a read on the deck. I don't really want to install any of these cards. I think going for an Axis here is not amazing. I don't love going through the top of R&D when you think there's a Rashida because they're just going to draw through the lock. Pinhole Rashida? Oh, yeah, you're right. We have a Pinhole. I forgot we had a Pinhole. Pinhole Rashida here is correct. Yeah, it's too bad. I totally did not realize we had a Pinhole in our hand. That's okay. Yeah, we got information. We can't not run. I'm not going to trash that yet. Yeah, Pinhole the Rashida is way... Never mind. Pinhole the Regolith is even better. Especially because his deck doesn't have money. All right, we'll do Nuka. Uses our thing. That's actually a pretty good start. So we have to get that Regolith down. We'd be happier to Pinhole the Regolith than the Rashida, especially considering how inconsistent this deck can be. No, but thank you. Okay. Yeah, imagine we Pinholed that. Like White Blade starts the turn on 2 credits. Vulnerability Audit. Oh no, why? This is when you talk about your least favorite cards and then this sort of thing happens. All right, Nuka's gone. So the issue here, we don't have a Boomerang. So Hot Pursuit's a bit hard to use. We have 1 Kurapira, but we have other ways to use this. We can technically buy a band's archives here. It's not great. We can install something for 2 credits less. We don't have huge advantage. We can just like cycle Masterworks here, which is not the worst. I think we can just cycle Masterworks here. It's free. Okay. What a monster. Yeah. So far this deck is doing fine. It's okay. It's all right. It's all right. We don't have a lot of money in this hand. And so like if we don't draw our rogue trading, right? Like that's a lot of the money in the deck. We can't Hot Pursuit because we don't have a Boomerang. No free lunch is money. Uh-oh, he's being rude. What's the difference between installing dumb and drawing a card? Yeah, we use a Paladin Pueblo credit there just to draw a card. Oh yeah, you shouldn't do that. I didn't even question that. We just did it. What else do we want to do here? We just need to get credits. I think Bachlan Botchkin's gonna be interesting to the matchup. It favorably works into board control, sort of. Yeah, it does work really well. Unfortunately, we ate our ability doing the card draw. I think here we just click for credit. What do we throw out? Good thing installing Master will give you a new hand. Oh boy. I think we can just click for credit here and throw out. It's weird. It's like all these cards are obviously very better in a much longer game. I think we'll throw out the Bachlan. Bachlan's really good into boarding control, which the op is obviously playing. I don't want to throw out the Hot Pursuit because it really shows something about our hand. And so like unfortunately here Iru is probably the worst card in the hand. I'm gonna keep it though, because winning off of Iru is sick. I guess we'll just go low and install a Bachlan. It sucks, because that was probably our install next turn. We have more money than we think we do, because the no free lunch we can just crack whenever. SDS goes back. Yeah, I think we're gonna get off this ride really soon. This is like just all the 3-pointers. The density, how many agendas in the deck? Man's regular. 10? So there's 10 and 74. Anarcho, it's a mix of both. Okay, so the density on agendas here is a 1 in 7.5 cards. That's like generally almost the worst you can do in the entire format. So that is really favorable for them. So he can play a really like dirtily slow, grindy game. The numbers on the agenda densities actually get like really gross the longer the game goes or the bigger the deck goes. And I think this is the second week in a row that we've seen this. And like, there's no max deck limit in Netrunner, and that's probably for the best. But like having to find 3 of the 10 agendas and 74 cards kind of sucks. Do you just click for credits? I think we do click for credits. Like, I don't think we have much to do here. We can consider buy advancing off next turn, but like, I don't want to do this. How do they win? They build a border control surveyor remote server. They probably have defensive upgrades. It's going to take them a minute, but they definitely can, right? Like, we lose to so many weird things here. I don't know what any of that is. Like, how do you play against that? I just know Eric's going to bring this filter to you on Saturday. I know. Draw 2. Thunder at Gallery is fun. It's the only card here that really makes sense. That was definitely a change of pace. Let's get this down. Wait, what? Oops. I didn't click the thing. I just clicked on the card. This is wrong, right? Wait, what happened? Yes. Hold on. We'll rewind this. We should be on this. Here we go. Undo turn. Shit. Breaches, period. Okay. I think this is fine. I think this is where we were. I'm pretty confident this is where we were. We got the tapes, so Eric is fine. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Breach server. We saw the top 2 cards of our deck, though. That we probably should consider shuffling. So then we have to do this. This comes in for free. I'm going to just Bravado HQ. Sorry, R&D. That's probably where the game is right now. We cannot, and we're going to have a hard time stealing SDS drone deployment. We'll just go R&D here. I wonder if this is war raid. I don't know what this is. I don't think the face check can be that bad for us. No further action. Whoa. Is that an archer? What is that? Border control? Good to know. Why would he not res there? I'm going to shuffle now. Cool. Okay. HQ could be a Winchester. It could. We have Link technically for that. It's not particularly good. The problem is like playing. That's the biggest issue. Stavka? Yeah, maybe Stavka. I think Stavka makes more sense. I think the bigger issue here is that like playing against a 74 card deck is like, it just gets harder to play against. Like the chance that this is a Stavka is super unlikely compared to any other deck, or that this is a Winchester. Cheswa's nice. If that's a Stavka, we lose the Cheswa. I think we're okay with it. We just don't have that many good ways to use the Cheswa here. We have no boost effect, so we can't just like charge the twinning passively, but I guess we have Paladin for that. I'll put the twinning down. I think we should have already, maybe just to build up some win condition. I think we have to here. We want a boomerang really bad. Yeah, I'll put down the twinning. Ordering there is a bit stuffed. I wish rules would come in to add some limit on oversized decks. The limit is that they have to be shuffled. He has a boarding control. He has nothing else. He's installed into archives. If that's an above the law, we lose, but we can't run that server. Let's draw once. Let's just go R&D. We can consider hot pursuing HQ. The problem is like if we don't have a boomerang, it's not particularly good. We can't steal SDS here. It's a virus. Trash it. We'll go back. We can run that server with Bachlan 3 times. This we can, but then like, what are we dealing with the upgrades? Anvil, that's going to be annoying. That's a hard one to deal with. Luckily, we have like these bad no free lunches. Now we want to install a card a turn just to get the twinning up. Do we want to show Iru? She comes down for free. I don't want to show the Iru because eventually we'll get on threat 3 and that's actually like a kind of a power card we have, as weird as that is. I'll install this just to get a twinning charge. It probably will get stuff good. That's fine. Yeah, the connection's okay. I just want to hide this. We'll see what this is. Cool. But like, what is this? It's probably Warroid. This is probably the anvil. That's also a huge problem with big decks, is like they can afford to anvil themselves to death while we cannot afford to anvil ourselves to death. So the anvil will probably fire. Did you just say the limit on deck size if you have to be able to shuffle it? Because I got me some big hands. So you have to be able to randomize it. I don't know what the exact words they use are, but in a reasonable period of time. Okay, class act comes down for all our money. We just want Earth Rights here. If the anvil comes up, we trash the no free lunch. I think that's probably a fine trade. It allows them to like search for something with their deck. That could be bad, so we want to do that sooner than later. Expect that to be an anvil. I mean, Balance had the discussion about limiting 3-pointers, like for real? Because that would be sick. I think 3-pointers should be limited. You don't get into this nonsense. And also, I don't like 3-pointers. I've been a big fan of... Oh, this just fires. Yeah, that's fine. I don't like 3-pointers. The runner loses a credit. We can't pay for it from Cheswa, so we're going to get rid of the no free lunch. It means we broke this for 4 credits. That's pretty expensive. CV, maybe? What's CV? It was when Drago was problematic. We spoke with Lost Geek about it. Oh, cool. Yeah, that was a pretty good meta. And before Paladin won't fund connections? It doesn't, but we have enough hardware and stuff. We don't actually have that many connections. We'll see too. This is what we expected for the remote server. We could trash this. It's all our money. I think we're not going to trash it. I think we're just going to say the remote server's messed up. I just don't know, like, do we eventually lose to, I think we might lose to the, what's it called? The big super deep borehole or something. Oh, shit. We die. This is going to be like Bass Chiraboga, and he's going to res all the upgrades and mad us for a lot of tags. That's a problem. If we install Class Act, we go down to 0 credits. We have a no free lunch, but no free lunch has better use in our hand. We haven't used our ability yet. What's the top card? Warroid? This is really bad. Okay, that becomes a 1-coster. I wonder if it's an Urban Renewal. Urban Renewal also makes sense. Yeah, because Urban Renewal is on a bed of things. I think we leave here. Ironic dying to Mad? Yeah, I know. The guy on Mad seems familiar. For those who don't know, the guy on Mad is this guy here. I find it interesting how Netrunner is the only game I played where people deliberately go above minimum deck size somewhat regularly. Fab sometimes do. Fab you do. It's not a competitive game. In Marvel Champions, you do. It's a really interesting thing because like having a good reason to do it. In Flesh and Blood, you definitely do, especially if you play like limited formats. All right, well, we need a pinhole. We have another in our deck. I think here we can just install Class Act and click. We have the pinhole. That's good. The Warrior Tracker is going to rip our board up. Flip Switch is okay. Dawkins Pass is fine, but he's been shuffling back all the agendas. We don't need a second Bachland. So he has a Mad in hand. We could lose this turn. He needs a Biotic or something here. All right, so it's Warrior Tracker. And the Urban Renewal probably will kill us because it puts us down to little hand size, and then how he kills us. He shuffled, maybe no Mad? I don't think he shuffled before the Mad. Oh, you're right. Yeah, he did shuffle. When we first playing MTG in junior high, we made decks out of literally all the cards we owned. You get your best value, man. You get to play with all the cards you have. Some Yugi decks were on 42 last time I played. Oh, neat. All right, well, I'm pretty sure we can get into R&D here. We can access 2 cards. We need to install something. Installing a flip switch is kind of fine because we can just sell it. Whatever. Oh, yeah, right. Turtle's cool. We know that's a Stavka half run. I don't think we can use Turtle. The deck has Mavirus. Oh shit, it came in for free, so we can't use the Paladin Puemo. No! I thought we'd be able to use the Paladin Puemo. We can't. Oh, that's terrible. That's so genuinely bad. We've been cursed. I thought we would be able to get a twinning charge. A Kingdom for a Light the Fire. Yeah, I know. And even then, like, I guess there's no border control here. But it could be a Zato, and then it eats the Light the Fire. I'd be surprised if it's a Zato, but it could be a Zato. All right, well, whatever. We might get stop good here. We'll just run R&D. Install a piece of hardware. This is where we should have done the install. I'm gonna do no. Zato blank, can't eat LTF. Oh, you're right, NetDad. That makes so much sense. It's weird, but we have to trash this. We have no tag cards in sight. Well, we do. We have one in hand. Look, the game's gonna be over really soon. I wonder if you res a stop could eat two Cheswas. I think you do. Oh, it's an envelopment. Interesting. We don't have a good way to deal with that. Bachlin's once per turn, so if we de-res this, it keeps his power counters, which is not good. I think we're just gonna walk away from this. I don't want to play into this. I don't know. I don't know if there's like a queue where you come in and stunt on me, but like this is not the Netrunner I want to play. Wonder why he didn't res envelopment before. Me neither. I wonder if he wanted to keep it for a run that matters, but I'm surprised. Maybe there's a chance that the timing of it's important, or he didn't want to res until like Mad came up. Came to wish everyone well, server 1 and only. I know we're having a good day around here. Yeah, I know. Lazy, how's it going? What's our alliance here? Like we can always pinhole the urban. The problem is like it has Warroid and we don't have money, and so the game is gonna be over. Yeah. There's like 7 agendas in R&D. Yeah, but there already was. I think there's 10 agendas and 56 cards. Like our density in R&D is pretty good. Lachlan's once per run, I know. It's good though. It is pretty good. Like we can farm the sandstone for Bachlan. The issue is like de-resing the anvil is not that important. De-resing the envelopment's not that important. The line that we have here is like farming the sandstone, and then we can like for sure hot pursuit HQ. The thing is like that's not that great. Having a class act in hand for the urban renewal turn, that would probably be the best thing that we could have done. We can hope that this pays out. Pinhole is like kind of good, but not really. This is not great. Yeah, it's a tag me as. It's the first game. While I'm waiting for the repackage of Innsmouth, I picked up Edge of the Earth on Black Friday sale. Looking forward to some Lovecraftian snowshoeing. Edge of the Earth is really good. I think it is one of my favorite. We did a bit of an Arkham Talk Jacktivist earlier today. It is definitely quite good. All right, we have a chance of winning off running HQ here. The urban is going to go off though. Never mind. We can't deal with 2 ice. We just can't deal with 2 ice. Our economy is really bad. Like it looks like we don't get a rogue trading. We just don't have money. So we can de-res a 3 strength ice. We don't know what this is. Iru, we're only gonna see 2 cards. We're gonna get urban next turn. And then I don't know how we die after the urban. Like Ozzy F Audacity probably. Overdrawing like he's flooded. I think he was looking for an ice on HQ because the Docklands came down, but he might be flooded here. Like that's the thing, is the deck probably doesn't score out. But I like urban renewal into Audacity as if we die. We don't have prognostic Q loop, so we can't clicklessly draw mid game. So we don't really have much to do here. De-raising the development is a bit cursed because it keeps getting counters. Like Iru running archives is okay-ish. It's only once per turn. Why do they put that at the bottom of the text? You get so excited until you finish reading it. Yeah, we're just not gonna do much here. Losing our echelon's a bit of a bummer, that's for sure. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just gonna see how we die. As if a Destiny would be criminally boring. Yeah, especially with Mad. Like I'm wondering what else there could be in here. You probably don't die with the urban, but Eric pulls Gaslight with it, and that'll do it. Yeah, we're getting madded now. The thing is, like, he needs to biotic mad. So this server, like, you just can't run. So he's gonna give us a bunch of tags. So he's running multiple of these. So the thing is, we have 7 tags, so we're just gonna lose the game off of like normal means, because the chance of him having a kill condition in hand is super high, and we only have 1 card in hand. So we need to draw to 4 cards, and then he has to have 2 of them in hand. That's probably our best case here. Luckily, we can clear 2 tags relatively well. But yeah, he's just doing that for value, right? Man, this is the thing. It's like, I think Eric needed a reason for, what's it called, for Matt to be good. And the only way to make it like really consistent is to play a lot of upgrades. And the only way you play all these upgrades is to like, you know, play this sort of nonsense. Oh man, I always worry when this stuff is shown that this stuff is good, because then people have to play into it. He's gonna meteor mining you, honestly, maybe. So here we need to get at least 4 cards in hand at a minimum. Clearing the amount of tags doesn't really matter unless you psychographics meteor mining, but we're gonna have enough tags for that. Draw. Can we win? I can't believe we kept Iru. Do you think we win here? Let's try and win. Let's see what Iru can do. We've never played Iru. Run. Archives. Install piece of hardware. Boomerang. Here. We're going to use no credits because we want to use Paladin Poemo. Masterwork to draw. We can't use Puemo. Hold on. Yeah, we should just use the Cheswa. Cool. Yeah, just click Puemo. Yeah, it's weird that it didn't offer it, but we can just use the Cheswa. It's fine. It's in no. Ah, great. We can't even get the one ear run out. Okay. So this has 5 subroutines. Technically they all matter. He doesn't have a lot of money, but he has enough money for us to die. Bachlan is 1 counter to 2 counters too little. So we're just gonna let that fire. So bad. All right. We can run HQ here. Yeah, run HQ is our only run. The problem is like we can't win. Well, there's maybe a chance we can win. We can see 3 cards. We could steal 9 points. It didn't offer us Paladin because Ear is a connection. I tried to do it on the Boomerang. We'll see all the cards. Pivot. We need to trash that. Actually, we knew that was in there. That's really important. Trash flip switch to reduce the base trace. Oh, it's a forced connection? No. So this is firing. It's just 2 more tags. No. Yeah. Anvil. Angelique. Oh, so we at least need a card in hand. That's good. We might survive. Go R&D, we can't. Oh, he had an end of line in hand. GG. 2 eggs left the game. Thanks for the game. I think this deck is probably beatable. I think obviously like a Light the Fire would be really good. Glad you had fun. Yeah, thanks, Eric. Bye now. Yeah, that's interesting. It's weird. Decks like this that are like a bit, you know, hopefully you want to say less inconsistent. It's hard to tell if they can. Like being able to deal with the early assets are super important. So like if it was a Rashida or taking down the early Regolith was incredibly important. And I think we'd have to. Like I think if we pinhold that, we're in an okay spot. Because we can deny the money early. This is another deck where like having a diversion might have actually mattered, but we didn't. I don't know, man. Feels bad. I don't know what to say about that. All right. Let's go. Runner. I don't think we learned too much about our deck though, because we couldn't really play too much of it. Oh, hey, Ba. At least it's not IG. There's worse things out there than IG. All right. Hey. Thanks, you too. Ba has been playing a version of a Mirror Morph deck. It has a pretty top-loaded agenda suite. MC Austerity is really important. I'm not sure if there's anything too flashy in terms of defensive upgrades in it. Now we're making broken tutor abilities, name a more iconic duo. So we can definitely mulligan this hand. Doesn't have really much we want. Having good HQ pressure is important because the Mirror Morph with MC Austerity keeps it in hand. We're also like not amazing at contesting the mana garms because if we're using boomerangs, they kind of get stuck at some point. We're gonna mulligan this. I think it's a bit better. We have rotating flip switch, which like it's not great. We definitely need a Thunder Red Gallery for that part of the engine to feel better. There's a chance that we just install like we bravado whatever Bob puts down, and then we subliminal messaging. Okay, so we want to run once a turn, but that's just a nice way to get Mirror Morph down. It's really important to run once a turn if you can. Advance. Looks like an NGO front. Ice. Okay, cool. So did Bot keep? Bot capped. Okay, so we're just gonna send it. There's not that many bad face checks here. On 6 credits, you can res anything. I think MIC would be the worst for us, but there's not that much else. We could put Bachlan down and run first. We think this is an NGO front, so actually Bach has a bit more money than we think. I think we'd rather put Class Act down than Bravado, or sorry, than Bachlan this soon. All right. That's the bad one. We could have got flip switch down, but it's like very unlikely we get punished here. We have 1 click left. So this is going to be a 5 credit push. That's fine. If Ba wants to advance it for another credit, it's really awkward because you have to do click and then advance it. That's okay, but that's most of the turn. That's funny enough that it lines up pretty well with Mirror Morph. I think we'll just put the Class Act down for 3 and go from here. What do we want to bottom? Networking. It's not bad. The flip switch is like kind of comparable to it. We have double Baya and Chesla and Sure Gamble. Like we have a good economy from this point forward. I think we need to do rogue trading Baya bands, but I like the rest of this hand. I think actually we'll get rid of the networking. We'll see how this is. It's on the bottom, which is not great. Anyone remember the Reddit post where the guy said Gaslight was broken because he was a board game designer? Good times. I know that person. They're in my meta. I don't want to say more than that. But there is obviously like the criticism is interesting. I'm not a big fan of the like wielding I'm a game designer like a baseball bat, which I think is actually what Whiteblade talked about it on the podcast. But Gaslight is a messed up card. It's just like it's a good messed up card. All right, so they have 8 credits because we're assuming it's an NGO front if you're not familiar. So here we get the like we can do Sure Gamble, Chesva, we can buy events, just archives. We kind of want to make a run because of subliminal messaging. We just want to continue to set up. Oops, sorry, no, not at all. Okay, Masterwork, cool. So we can install a card here. If we install the Masterwork, it comes down for free and draws a card, which is nice. We actually, oh man, if we had the networking hand, we have the Thunder Galley rogue trading combo. Like we might have actually been ready. Okay, we've used our ability. We have another buy. I think we're just gonna do Sure Gamble here. We've drawn. We've done all our like once per turn things, and we're not that ready for icing up for charging their remote server. But we have to get there. We're gonna keep grinding. And Geofriend, there you go. That's 8 credits. So install, draw. We'll see if we credit. We get another credit there. So we'd ideally want to check this. If it's a Spin Doctor, we still get our buy events. No, we don't because it's a successful run. Okay. So here, I think we can consider buy abandoning archives. We have the Chesva to get our installs down. We did whiff on that last turn. Yeah, we'll go from here. Archimpilled. Do we install hardware here? No, I don't think so. We're going to use our ability on something else. We probably should check what that is. Draw 2. Okay, so we can install a card for 1 fewer. I think we have to go for the Thunder Gallery. Man, maybe having the networking in hand is actually really good. I think it's so much easier to use than Flip Switch, for better or worse. So we want to get Paladin down. We want to check server 2. It's probably like a Nano Etching or like a Bast Chiraboga. I think we still have to trash either of those if we can, and our money's okay. Mistbones would definitely be good in this deck. Maybe we actually should have buy abandoned this because we could use the 4 credits. I think that's more important because we're not using the Chesva that well here. Whatever, we'll get a tag down for free. It's fun. This is probably going to be, I think, what's his name? The install hardware? We should. We haven't used our ability yet. So our next 2 clicks will be install Paladin Poemo. It's a Spin Doctor. Sorry. They res, unfortunately. That gives us information. It's nice to know it's a Spin Doctor. But on Masterwork here, okay, unfortunately, we know it's a Spin Doctor. What do we want to install something? We can install the Flip Switch for 1. Draws a card. Yeah, why not? That means we can face check. Okay, thanks. Now we're going to be repeatable. Clear for RT seems important. Yeah, it seems nice. It definitely seems nice. You pay 1 for it, which is not bad, and there's no way to make it cheaper. No pop? That's fine. We're not going to trash it. So we want to get Paladin now. We'll get the Rogue Trading down. But that means next turn, right? Like we can clear the Rogue Trading tag with the Flip Switch. It's again, yeah, I think we should have the networking in hand. Instead of, I don't know what we drew. MCA, okay, we have to deal with that. If they don't ice that up, like we just go deal with it. They spend 2 clicks, we spend a click and 3 credits. It's like kind of same. It's like really ugly to use Rogue Trading into MC Austerity. Like that can't be said enough. Here they probably have agendas in hand. We don't have any big multi-axis here. So we need to run this. We need to do a plan. So we can Rogue Trading here to gain 6 credits. We can run the remote server, and then we can clear a tag with Flip Switch, which allows us to install our Bachlan Botchkin for absolutely free. Let's do it. Let's start doing our engine. Okay, so we do that. We run server 3. We can trash this, install hardware. We don't really want to. Breach. This deck has Restore, so like these austerities come back. If you're not familiar, this is a very important card in Mirror Morph. Pay 3 to trash. Okay, and then we'll Flip Switch. In theory, we could have done this on their turn. And we could have installed the Boomerang on our turn. I don't think we want a Boomerang without using it. So, oh wait, I can't Flip Switch on their turn, excuse me. So install Bachlan Botchkin, coming in for absolute free. Kind of cool. All right, that seemed okay. That actually genuinely seemed okay. Don't think too much about the maths behind it, but once we're set up, we're rolling. The problem is we don't have good card draw here. Like we need to find the one of, what's her name? Maybe we probably should be playing more Nukas because having a lot of cards in hand, it seems important for Thunder Art. We also don't have that strong of a face check into ice anymore. And I think the deck is probably running some of the bigger ice. Like we expect on cells. Absolutely unhealthy hour morning, Mr. Metropole. Hey, chat, Jai, hopefully you're doing well. Get some sleep if you can, huh? Okay, so we can just run this and we can Masterwork a Boomerang on top of it. We can also run Archives, which probably forces a Spin Doctor Shuffle, and we can install the Boomerang on that as well. Why am I awake at 3 a.m.? Yo, Jai, you gotta not do that. It's important you don't do that. Hopefully you're sleeping okay though. I was up last night at that hour and like it doesn't feel good. We can always just, yeah, we can just use the boomerang on Paladin. We don't need to run archives here. So we'll run server 4. Masterwork, this is nice that we have the Paladin for this. So we install the hardware. We draw first, I guess. No free lunch or Docklands. I like Docklands because we've seen no agendas. We've gone through 15 cards. We'll put the boomerang there. And is the boomerang free? Why does it not offer us to use Paladin Puemo? It's a drafter. Good evening, fantastic human being. Jonathan, that's very kind. Hopefully you're doing well. How you doing? I think this is a Rashida. So you're gonna boomerang that. It's a virus, that's fine. We technically care about this. We'll shuffle the boomerang back in. So here, if we rogue trading, we get 2 clicks and then we remove a tag, which allows us to install a card for 1 credit less. That doesn't feel good unless we have the networking. We've shuffled though, so the networking is now somewhere in 32 cards. We've already drawn. I think we definitely need to spend more time drawing here. We don't actually need money. We need threat. And deresing an MIC would actually be pretty impactful. Let's draw. That's good. We need a breaker. Let's draw. She's good. We've used our ability already this turn. I don't think that's going to stop us from playing this. Because we're going to use our ability next turn anyways. We can't be too precious about the ability because then we start playing like unfortunate Netrunner just to get more value. Hey Rona, I didn't say hi by the way. Do you succumb to diurnal propaganda? Be awake when you want. Also Chow Jai. Okay, you can call it diurnal propaganda. That's fair. I think some people do it better than others, but anytime, I don't know. There's some times where like I've been much more nocturnal than anything else, but I don't know. Parts of it where like you can interact. Oh, there's MCA. That's annoying. We have 2 pinholes in the deck. Okay, so we only have 3 clicks. That does make it tricky. We can let this stew for another turn. Hey Seb, I'm doing well. How are you doing? We're playing some Tag Me, sort of. So we have pinholes. We have a Kurapira, that's okay. Doesn't deal with anything on the table. Bachlan Botchkin here seems a bit extra. So we're going to let this cook for another turn, unfortunately. We can install a Docklands Pass. We don't have a twinning building, which would be really good. I feel like our influence might need to be moved around. If we install the no free lunch, it means that we can rogue trading, but then technically we spend a click and 3 credits. Like it's, yeah, the engine doesn't work good. I think we need networking. It's the only like cheapest way because we spend a click and a credit as opposed to a click and no credits. Wait, this is better, right? We really have a lot of connections that Paladin can't help with. We do, but it's okay. Because we still have a lot of hardware and you keep installing boomerangs and breakers forever. I think I want to make a successful run here. That's the issue. So I'm going to run archives. We should be doing this anyways. So we can install this hardware. We can install the Docklands Pass. We will use the Chesva credits to use Paladin Puemo. This will probably threaten the Spin Doctor Shuffle, so their draw will be a bit more awkward here. We have the credits to threaten the Ikwa. How's McTagme been? It's our second game. Our first game was like kind of a thing. They threw out an MC virus. Their hand is probably messed up. And like we really need to get pressure in on HQ. If we do no free lunch here, we have the ability to technically like, this is the cool thing is we can use rogue trading on our turn and tag to clear the no free lunch on their turn to use tag Thunder Gallery to install on their turn. That can be pretty cool. Why is the Dream Rig so huge? We need breakers. Imagine we had breakers here. But we don't have mutual favor. Okay, so next turn they can score out a 5-3 from hand. So either we have to pressure HQ or we have to pressure this drafter. Bachlan Botchkin will only be at 3 counters or 2 counters, which is not enough. Spin Doctor. Every time I saw a Kurapira card, I think that's Brazilian. I'd love to have a Kurapira playmat. Hey Rajats, how's it going? I don't know if we've seen a Kurapira playmat so far. It is really cool. This is Julio Roca, I think. So Spin Doctor, greasing the palm, installing a second ice there. Okay, so now we need to draw into our 2 pinhole threadings in 26. Otherwise they can score from hand, or we need to get through the MIC, which is pretty hard. It's not the worst with Chesva and what's it called? Oh shit, that's not good. Okay. So here we have the networking, which is nice. We have the bottom one of these cards. I don't think we're set up for the Hot Pursuit, so we're gonna bottom the Hot Pursuit for sure. Here, if we buy a band's archives, we can get deeper into our deck for sure, and we have a chance of finding the pinhole threading. We need to install something, so Paladin Puemo is going to be nice here, but there's a big chance they're going to score out a 5-3 from hand. For what it's worth, it's pretty slow and pretty expensive for them, so I'm not too upset about them scoring out a 5-3 here, because we need the game to go longer, and the fact that they took them, you know, for what it's worth, like 4 turns to score out into 5-3, I guess only 3 turns. I don't feel that bad about it. I guess we have to buy a band's archives here. We're denying the subliminal every turn, which is really good. We don't have a hardware in hand to install. Draw 2, looking for a pinhole. No. We can install 1 for 1 less. I think the Kurapira makes sense. It's probably a bit more important. We're going to use the Paladin Puemo and the 1 Cheswa. Actually, the Bavarius, that's fine. We have 8 cards in hand, but we can definitely discard a couple of these. Pack some plugs this weekend. I'm so hyped. We are going to shut that out in the news. I take it you're going to be there. So we could run. Bachlin's a bit low. Like, that's the problem is we need a face check. And to some extent, like having the networking in hand so we can use the, what's it called, a bit more aggressively, the flip switch. I don't want to run last click because if this is a sentry, we're in a really bad spot if it's a drafter and on sell. So here we probably can like consider taking a tag, but if we're on 3, like de-resing the drafter is not great. Going HQ here would be pretty fine. We can consider just bravadoing an HQ. It's like not amazing. It's not the worst, but it's not amazing. And then we can install the boomerang. Actually, we should run HQ and C2 here. We just can't steal the Iqua, which feels really bad. But if we run HQ, we can install the MIC for Cheswa for free. We break 2 of the subroutines. We can get an access. We can see 2 cards. We'll still send the messages. We won't steal the Iquas. I want to be very clear that you want to respect Iqua here, but we can't. We'll still go for the run. The other option is hot pursuing HQ. That's way better. Oh, that's sick, actually. Oh, there's the pinhole. Well, this is a cool line. So they can crack the MIC. If they do, I think we're relatively happy. So we'll boomerang this. We'll break the end of the run. We'll lose one of those, whatever. We're going to get in. We're going to see 2 cards and a lot of money. If you want to crack the MIC here, you definitely can. We're totally fine with it. We want to see not the Iqua. We want to see the send a message. This is where like having a twinning in our back pocket would be really nice. They did. That's fine. If they score out, they'll probably have an open HQ. There's a chance they can do something cool there, but we're happy getting that down because we don't have a good way of getting rid of that. So we'll get rid of the Thundera Gallery. We didn't take a tag, which is a bit of a bummer. And I think here we'll get rid of the 3rd no free lunch. Very excitingly, I blew the remainder of my monthly budget on 2 years of FG prize kits from 2017 and 8 cartons of draft packs. Yo, that's sick. LGS is clearing out. They used it so they can do this to give us only 3 clicks a turn. They have an open HQ here. So here they can install, and that gives them a mirror morph click. So here they can score at a 5-3. Vitruvius with the counter is actually, I think, worse for us. But now HQ is wide open, and that's pretty good. That's really cool. Helping the East Coast hype. Man, himself Bushi at the booth. Oh, sick. I need to make it down to one of those. If we just got into HQ 1 click sooner, we wanted to swipe that, but we're going to swipe HQ. We just wish we had a good run to make it make sense. So we can't bravado HQ. We only have 3 clicks on this turn, which is really important. And we actually can't play our top deck if we top deck one of the copies. Oh, we could if we no free lunch. We don't have diversion, and that's the weakness here. If we diversion HQ, it would be so good for us. Just so incredibly good. We need to install something. A second Chesva is not the worst because we can use it to install and trash stuff. So I think we installed the second Chesva. We can draw once. We need planner turn. I think we draw once. Okay. We don't have a hardware in hand. We can install the second Chesva just so Paladin's happy. And we just run HQ. Oh, this is cursed again because we're not respecting. Yeah, we should have done this because we're not respecting the Iquas, which are definitely in hand. They haven't shuffled. They shuffled 1 agenda back. YDL? Calvin Bailey. That's the guy we were talking about. Okay, so we missed a bunch of our once per turn triggers, but we're going to have 4 clicks a turn now. It's Boston surprised y'all QTs anymore. It's because you posted the pictures, Jai. So we know Calvin, we know Hedge Fund, we know YDL, and the Vitruvius is just going to like spam what's it called over and over again. Ice on HQ, okay. No trash? On the Calvin? Oh, we definitely should have trashed the Calvin, you're right. I forgot. Yeah, I've Cheswa. Hey, I 100%. 100% should have trashed Calvin. I blanked on the Chesvas. Do you mind? Does that change your turn? Yeah, we can use Chesva. I totally forgot we had Chesva. Thanks. Did you discard a card there? It's very kind. No. Thanks. Appreciate it. Okay, so we have clicks. Face checking can be bad for us. In terms of our flip swatches, we have 1 more. We need to pressure some stuff down. We want to make a successful run if we can. Just running archives to get hardware down could be nice. We'll draw. We found a flip switch, but we also found our shibboleth. I think face checking to a drafter here is like kind of bad. I think having decoder is probably good. Aren't you friends with Calvin? I've never been friends with Calvin. If we have the flip switch, we can bravado, which is pretty good. But I think I'm pretty sure here we just rogue trading. And then we either no free lunch, which clicklessly, but I think we want to do that on their turn. So I think we class act on our turn because it's only 3 credits. It doesn't really change much. And then on their turn, we can no free lunch. I think we should just no free lunch now. Remove a tag so we can get the shibboleth down. All right, kickflip. The asset needs to be res for the apply. Yeah, when the runner trashes this, they may draw 2 cards. So text outside of like ambushes has to be resed for it to be active. So this face down we have to remember is a Calvin. We didn't make a run that turn too, so. Did we miss something? We wanted to run centrals to deny subliminal, that's for sure. Another point for the win, does face down card text apply? Yeah. Yes. Oh man, yeah, we forgot about that. We can do that during a run to use the Chesva credits. That would have denied the subliminal too. That would have been so much better. Yeah, hold on, I need to refocus a bit. Yeah, thank you. I'm not sure if undo turn will work. Okay, so let's restructure this. Okay, so what do we do on our old turn? Thank you, Ba. So in our old turn, we did draw, rogue trading. Yeah, so check this out. This is what we're meant to be doing, right? If we draw once, okay, so we're going to get the shibboleth. Then we do rogue trading, and then we can run archives. And now during the run, we can remove a tag with no free lunch, which means that we're doing a run, we remove the tag so we can install a card within our gallery so we can install the class act, and then we can use the Chesva credits so it comes down for free. That's sick. Not only is that sick, but it turns out the subliminal, which is really important to be doing anyway. So there's like 3 reasons why that was like not good. Yeah, that's very kind. I like he's watching out for my triggers too, because he understands I have Bob's an appreciator of these sort of like convoluted things. That seems. Yeah, I totally forgot. We want to be doing that during a run as much as possible. So that's like one of the downsides of networking versus anything else. But it's good to have one of those. That was genuinely not a bad turn. I wonder if the flip switches is better than networking because we can get them down clicklessly with masterwork. The problem is we can't use them on the corpse turn, but with Cheswas, we have a bigger incentive to do it on our turn. This doesn't feel awful. Class act. This engine feels okay. We're kind of getting there. We have all our breakers in our hand and we have a boomerang. In terms of the HQ pressure cards, we haven't seen a twinning yet. That's unfortunate. So we just have Docklands Pass and we should be going HQ. Mind you, like Ba has gone through 23 cards, shuffled 1 back. So there's definitely agendas in HQ. As triggers versus Mirror Morph turn planning, what brain will melt first? Mirror Morph is really fun. I wish we played more of it. Nice. Hey, fix B. So here it's like the idea we can boomerang HQ, YDL for money. We'll see if he pushes in a remote server. Like we're really good at running central. So here we can like get down echelon. This, you know, we haven't seen seamlesses. I'm not sure if there are seamlesses. Seamless advance is like kind of hard to work into Mirror Morph. But if you do like subliminal, that doesn't work either. But we have an incentive here to run HQ. We can just boomerang it. So I think we just bravado HQ with a boomerang. I don't think we're going to be clearing a tag mid-run, but we want to get access here on HQ. I think there's definitely agendas there. So we'll go HQ, masterwork, we'll install a boomerang. We'll use one of these, and I think a paladin. And I think a paladin. No? Okay. I'll just do it my own way. That's fine. We'll do the masterwork for the card draw. It's a filtered card draw. We'll take the Hopper Suit. Oh, that's really cool on HQ as well. This is neat. I'm into this. It's an MIC. Okay, good to see one of those again. We'll boomerang 2 of the subroutines, the ones that most matter, so we'll lose a click. Remind you at Bachland 3, which is really scary, the fact that we can just derez an MIC. Seems a strong enough card that would be happy to give a MM trigger for it. I think you would, but a lot of players try and build something like as synergistic as possible because it shows off the ID. But yeah, I think it makes sense. Let's see if he pops the MIC. It's like just annoying for us. Paying 6 credits to like make us lose a click. I don't think it's a good trade. Yeah, there you go. Ikawa makes sense. We can steal with the Cheswa credits, which is good. And another MIC. Okay. Shuffle that boomerang back. Okay. So we have a lot of cards in hand. Remote server here. Not sure what it is. I want to keep our pinholes a bit precious because we have what's it called? We have to deal with the austerities. Puemo's not happy yet. I think we're going to feed Puemo by just installing an Echelon. We're not hit threat 4 yet. But like the Seamless is also really strong with the Vitruvius. There's a chance that bot could be on game point next turn. So I'm just going to install this. We'll discard the cards that we don't need. I genuinely don't know if we have time for another rogue trading. We probably should. I really like the cards in our hand, though. I think we have one more rogue trading in the stack, though. I think that's probably fine. It's like really funny the amount of money you get off of a Hard Pursuit versus it's a Bass. Uh-oh. Bass works really well with Mirror Morph. So you do click Bass, install Advance. That doesn't work. So you need to install Operation. So this is where Seamless is really good. Oh, Luminal. Okay, that's fine. So there was no Mirror Morph that turn, unfortunately. But now it's all about like either you can do Bass and then you can do Restore Bass, Fire Bass, Restore Bass, Fire Bass. That's not type of positive, is it? Install Ash for Puemo, yeah. Yeah, Puemo's been a bit tricky. There's some cases where you're intentionally trying to take the tag from Puemo just so you can clear it. I think you're thinking of Taka, Vishal. Taka is the one that tagged. Puemo just eats our board state. But for Taka, yeah, there would be some cases. We're just not playing Taka. Because like Chesva, Taka kind of overlaps. Mystic is card from hand. Paladin is from table. Taka is tag. In theory, it's always meant to be the opposite of what it provides for you. So Paladin installs cards, so she trashes cards. Mystic plays events, so she trashes cards from hand. Taka is a bit, you know, a bit more interesting. So we have only 3 clicks. Pinhole into Austerity is so easy. We don't have a hardware here to install. We definitely want to keep getting pressure up. We can run R&D safely this turn. If it's a barrier, if it's a Hagen, it eats one of these. But we will pinhole here, I think. Yeah. We could draw first. I think that's fine. We want to find a hardware. Yeah, there you go. So now we can pinhole archives. We can install a hardware here. We're going to use 3 of these credits here, so we can use 1 Paladin. I think at this point we still should be running HQ. We've only seen 3 agendas through 24 cards. The density is a bit lower because the deck, I thought it would have more 5/3s than this. We can always go R&D as well. I think Bud doesn't have a lot of money. We probably should contest the Spin Doctor first, but he might trash. I don't think he will. I think he's confident enough. Austerity. So we'll get the Boomerang somewhere. We'll install this. We'll use 1 here, and then we'll use the Paladin. Masterwork to draw first. Good. This is once per turn. Whenever run begins. Oh man, Masterwork Boomerang feels so good. We probably could have just ran this, let's be honest. Gatekeeper's a bit annoying, but that's why, yeah, we could have just like Boomerang ran this, I reckon. We'll put this on HQ. I think that's the easier server for us to run. I don't think we're worried about the face check. Poor Fencer doesn't get a mention. I don't actually know if Fencer does. Oh, you have to pay a credit for Fencer. Yeah, okay, great. We trash this for 3. We have 1 click left here, so we're not respecting what's it called? The Ikwa. Wait, what did you Vitruvius counter for? What did you Vit counter for? The MCA? Hey, Taka's snitching on all the companion attacks. Jad, how's it going? Okay, thanks. All right, so in terms of the bin, right, like Spin Doctor at some point is going to be annoying. There's 2 MCAs in the bin. Here we have 1 click to run. I think we can run R&D. I think that's fine. Running through this last click is also kind of fine. We could Hot Pursuit it, but then we actually will float the tag. We can just run HQ with the Boomerang. I think that's fine. If he pops the MIC, I think we're happy. We can't steal the Ikwas, though. I want to force some money res. Let's run R&D. The only blowout here is, actually, there is a blowout because there easily could be last click here. This is a bad run because I think last click here, this is somewhat unlikely, but could be an ablative barrier. And that's a really bad thing for us. Also, breaking a drafter here is kind of shit. Yeah, I think we should be running HQ. This is not a great run. Threatening Spin Doctor before you run R&D is also kind of interesting. We can't obviously steal here the Ikwa. Yeah, this is not great. This is expensive for us. We could just de-res it, float a tag. I'm not going to do it. 5? Cursed. Yeah, that's really bad. We should have ran HQ there. Greasing the palm? Great. Yeah, that's not good. Spin allows them to shuffle an RCA, so restore does an RFG. Yes. But Bob's only on 3 credits. That was the only good thing about that run. So here we can consider, oh, greasing the palm. So he's a bit more. Going to go into a new server. We're assuming that's a Calvin Bailey. Calvin Bailey. This is good for us. I'm actually happy that Bob is drawing. Because the server we run easily here is we Hot Pursuit HQ on click 1. I think we draw actually first. Didn't put something in the remote server? Oh, okay. Double ice. That's good. Okay. So we can eventually run this really cheaply. So I think we'd get our Shibboleth down. We might as well draw. We don't have much to do this turn. I think we need another pinhole. So we'll install the Shibboleth for free on Paladin. We love a twinning about a year ago. So if we hot pursuit, Shriveled is pretty sad. Not very good here. I think we could just rogue trading, but we float a tag. He didn't use Greasing Palm. I wonder if it's a good indication he's 1-2. He did use Greasing the Palm. Yeah, he used the top deck Greasing the Palm. So I think running HQ here is really quite good. We might have to cycle the boomerangs though. Shibboleth breaking MIC for 7. Yeah, that's why we boomerang it. So if this is a gatekeeper, it's bad. I think it's only if it's a gatekeeper, it's bad. We have 4 Chesva credits though, so I don't think it's too rough. I'm just worried that we're gonna like boomerang. I'm worried that we're gonna like hot pursuit this, and it's gonna be not good for us. Because if we hot pursuit, we have only a 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Nothing ventured, right? You have Backlund? Yeah, you're right. We do have Backlund. But then we take 2 tags. F it. We might have one more tag here than we want. Install a piece of hardware now, thank you. Yeah, how's it going, Mark? Yeah, right? He's brewing. Yeah, this Backlund's really scary because now, like, if you res, you know, not that Ba can on 5 reds, but if you res like a Brawn, eventually it comes down, not right away. Backlund's good. Cool. Here's good too because we have a click left. So we're going to see 2 cards. There's likely an agenda in there because Calvin's a bit awkward when you don't jam with the remote server. So we'll boomerang this. We don't have a great install here, unfortunately. I guess we clear the tag with networking and install the no free lunch. Like, it's weird how that's okay. Oh, actually, he can't pop the MIC, right? Because we were losing a click here. Hold on. Hold it. Wait a second. If I boost, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to save a click. That's probably not worth it. No, it's worth it. I'm just going to break the click. Yeah, I think we can break the click because if we lose the run, if he pops the MIC, we lose the hot pursuit, and that's worth 9 credits. So we're gonna just boost. Because we have this money. We might use it on trashables, but we'll have the money with the hot pursuit. So that's to 5 strength, and then we'll just boost 1. So I'll give us a click and lose us a credit. Cool. Thanks. Yeah. Yeah, I forgot we could break it. We have this Chesva money. So now if he wants to use it, we will access with 1 click left, which means the Ikwa, or without a click, so the Ikwa is safe. But no matter what, we'll get our hot pursuit. You'd lose the boomerang too. Yeah, losing the boomerang is not great. It's okay when we have a thin stack. Like having 2 boomerangs and like 5 cards is fine. Okay, cool. So we'll breach. But here we want the money. So Spin Doctor, trashing that for 2 while the Spin Doctor on the table. Not stoked about it. I don't think I'm happy about that. It gives them something to jam their remote server. We can do it. Austerity will trash that as well. Shuffle that back. And so here I'm going to play networking. Choose a card and grip to install a no free lunch. Add networking back to their hand, yes. And so next turn we can rogue trading and float a click. Okay. Generally, this deck is kind of fun. I'm kind of into this. We have a big Backlund. This remote server is 2 credits. Ba doesn't have money. We know nothing in hand. We're running R&D is free every turn if we can figure out a way to make that work for us. And like, rip goes brew. Yeah, it's good. I think here we have to threaten the Spin Doctor and then threaten R&D. And Calvin just like is going to flood Ba up really slowly. The thing that we're going to lose to is like if he has enough money and then he's going to do like Biotic, Vitruvius Biotic or some nonsense. And I'm pretty sure there is probably some nonsense where you do like Biotic, install, play an event. Like you can do Biotic, greasing the palm, advance. Maybe there's probably some mirror morph way to fast advance. It's just going to be pretty expensive. The Doomsday rig looks a bit underwhelming. This is like not that different than most Az rigs. I think if Shibboleth was a Unity, we'd feel a lot better about it. But this is much stronger, and it's more the power of the boomerangs. Need to install Nano Etching Matrix to get the money up. I don't think Ba's on Nano Etching. I think Bomb's on Calvin. But yeah, Nano Etching would be really good here. So I'm going to challenge the Spin Doctor first. It's going to get shuffled back. Install a piece of hardware. Oh, we don't have actually a huge incentive to do that on this run. Needs more turbine. We don't have the MU. You can let the Spin Doctor go. The Vitruvius counter is the scary thing here. Cool. So let's see what he shuffles back in. Austerity, seeing all 3 in the bin. So 2 go back in the deck. That's fine. We can trash them from the top of the deck relatively simply. I think we just run here and then we hit rogue trading last click. Ideally, we have something to install though. Huh, that's a bit awkward. Running HQ is good because this is only single. Mind you, we have to find our twinning. I think we can take a turn not to do the rogue trading to find the twinning here. Oh my god, we have Iru. Wait, that's sick. That's really good. It's a bit of a bummer. Like, it sees us 2 cards, but like the fact is, R&D is kind of easy to run. I think we actually keep the Hot Pursuit. She'll be back soon. We're gonna shuffle in a minute. We'll run R&D while we have at least a click left. Install a hardware. We don't have to. We could. It's like free. We can't lock the deck because of the existence of Bailey. Midnight Theory? Oh, cool. We could go back for a single. It's free. We're gaining Bachlan counters. We could win. I think the deck might only be on 2 Ikawas. I think we actually could go for it. I don't think we have to respect it. There's no way for us to get a tag and instant speed here. We'll go back for a single. I don't think we should. I think finding a twinning is important. Finding the Eero is kind of nice too. She's on the bottom. We know where she is. We could draw up here. Running HQ, we want to do that sooner than later. We don't have a lot of money. Just click for credits, probably fine. Do you expect with ice higher than 7 strength? There's only 1 ice in the whole HB card pool with higher than 7 strength. Diogen talking me to playing this instead of off-world. Yeah, the deck needs a bit of money because they're not on that nano etching. Run last click hit snare. Yeah, it's okay. We know free lunch it. We'll be fine. But yeah, I don't expect it. Yeah, Midnight 3 with the Yodel thing is like, it's okay. If you're in chat, I love you. But it was not optimal. Savage. Yeah, the whole trick here is like the MCA, and we're pretty well set up now to deal with it, and we have a pinhole in hand. So Calvin's going to draw. We should definitely send HQ because Ba has drawn now 3 unknown cards. They can't really go on their remote server. We have seen no defensive upgrades either, so there might be a mana garb somewhere. The fact that we can run every turn and make it work for us means we're turning off Subliminal, and turning off Subliminal turns off Mirror Morph really heavily. Like, Mirror Morph hasn't triggered that much. Okay, so we need to figure out how to make this run work for us. We can always pinhole threading it. I think it's more likely to be Rashida, but if it's not, we can lose the game if it doesn't work for us. Bachlan can be fired pretty easily here. We want to Bachlan something expensive like the MIC, but Ba has good money. Hot Pursuit HQ is fine. We're gonna have to boomerang this. I think that's okay. Yeah, deresing the Brawn is what we have to do. We have to derez a big one. So I think we Hot Pursuit HQ. We'll be on 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 credits. We probably boomerang the MIC, and if they crack it, we can lose a click, no problem. So I think we do Hot Pursuit HQ, boomerang the outermost. On 15 credits though, Bach can res just about anything, but the Bachlan will derez it. We'll end up with 2 tags, but it's kind of fine. We'll use the Paladin credits. Apparently we won't. We have to decide where the credits come from first. That's good to have. Cool. It's a second MIC. Oh, that's gross. That's actually really gross. So we're going to lose some clicks here. 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. We're going to lose a click. He could have a tier. I wonder if we derez this MIC. We probably do, actually. Derez no respect. I think we're going to derez the remote server. We could have derez that for sure. I think with the Cheswa, it's like we're wasting the Cheswa if we do derez this. So I don't feel too bad about it. Because like we only paid 3 credits to break that, right? You're experiencing real time the reason I stopped playing Shib. Yeah, no, I don't like Shib. Imagine we had a Unity here. We break it for 4, which is a free Cheswa. I agree. I think the influence in this deck we can work with. We're going to access with a click here. We're not going to access with the credits. Oh, we are, because we're going to get Hot Pursuit. But we can win off stealing an Ikwa here. When Bachlan, do you get off effectively bypass the ice too? Yes, if you do it during the encounter window, because they can only res on approach. So Bachlan is like a pseudo bypass card that also beats things like, you know, Anansi, stuff like that. We'll see 2 cards. We now need to charge our remote server so that we don't get Rashida'd out. If Bob pops this, we're pretty happy. If he pops both of those, that means that he has the winning Ikwa in hand, and that's okay. The big problem though is like losing the Hot Pursuit is a bummer for us. We'll spend a click. Just to pop both of them. So we can lose a click and we still get the access here. I think we do it. It means the Rashida survives. But now HQ is totally open. I wonder if there's a line here that in their remote server we lose. That the right plays here is end the run, and then we could like, we can't really pinhole. This is fun. I'm assuming he doesn't have their remote server. On 9 credits, it'd be like seamless, Vitruvius seamless advance. There's a chance it's in there. It's a click for 9 credits on tag and access. Yeah, it seems good, but I think there's a chance we were in the remote server. I think Bob might be doing this, but we could lose in the remote server. Let's just like be obvious about that. I think the play was derez the outermost MIC. Yeah, it's like double seamless Akawa, but not even double seamless, single seamless because of Vitruvius, right? Like seamless, Vitruvius, seamless advance. The problem is if we do end the run here and we only have 1 click and 1 credit, we actually can't cheat into this remote server. We can run. Can't take Okaga last click anyways. Oh, that's true. Yeah. Yeah, that's super, super true. We're gonna, if we see an Ikwa in hand, we're really happy. If we see that's good. Okay, so he was just protecting this. That's good to know. Shuffle Boomerang back. We can use the no free lunch on his turn, especially after we see what this is. Yeah, right? That's a Rashida. That makes sense. So we know it's in there. We have to do this now. So we'll remove a tag. We can install the twinning. We can use the Paladin Puemo. We don't, like, sometimes you don't want to do that. It's worth knowing that we'll be fine, but it eats its own trigger for sure. You have NFL for credits? Yeah, we do have NFL for credits. Oh yeah, we could have NFL credits. The problem is we don't have clicks. So if it was the Ikko in the remote server, we still lose. So now we know the win is in HQ. We know that Ba has a Brawn. And we have a Bachlan at 7. Group here hasn't fired once. I know, I'm pretty sure Ba, I watched the VOD, is playing at least 1 copy of Ablative. I want to Eero here just for multi-access, but now like we run any central, we see 3 from HQ or 2 from R&D. We see 3 in theory with Eero, and we shuffled the deck, so Eero might be coming up. But now we just have to camp the remote server, and we haven't seen Biotic or any way that he can threaten to close the game out. This is also where we slow down and rely on like rogue trading networking, which is kind of really fun. Second ice, yeah. We need to force him to res a Brawn or something. I think that's the only bad face checks here. We've seen like 3 gatekeepers. Sorry, we've seen 3 MICs, 2 MICs, 3 MICs. So now the worst face check here is gatekeeper, which is annoying and allows him to fix his hand. Big deal incoming? Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Because you can do install advanced big deal. I guess it doesn't matter because the turn's over with Mirror Morph. We have to check this. It could be an MC austerity. It's not that expensive for us to check it, but we definitely can. What are we drawing for here? Anything. Boomerang probably. Flip switch is good. Bravado is even better, I think. Because we can just Bravado the server with 6 credits. This is 2. The worst case, we Bachlan this. Yeah, Mistbones would be good. I think there's some changes we can make to the deck, but I think inherently what we're doing in the deck is totally fine. It might not be the best as deck. All good. I wonder if JNet shows that you don't have a, what's it called? The hardware in hand? It's a magnet. Oh, fuck. It's so annoying. God, man, it's so annoying for Shibboleth. Ian, help. 3 credits to break a 3 credit ice in late game? What are we doing? So that's break for 3, that's break for 2. That leaves us with only 1 credit, so we can trash Rashida, but we can't trash anything else. I think that's enough. Unfortunately, we can't even get, what's it called, down. But we can run back if it is the winning agenda, the 5-3. Yeah, we can de-res it here. Cheswa, you can only use Cheswa for centrals. Yeah. So we get for 1. That lets us deal with Rashida. That's okay. We forced Ba to spend some money this turn, which is important. We have to do that. It's an MCA. That's okay. We can let that go. So we get money here. Now we just run R&D in C2. Again, we know the winning points are in HQ, but if we know where the Ikko is, there's definitely other points here. There's only 20 cards on R&D. We need to run, use Cheswa, C-twinning, C2. And then we can just draw. I guess we should draw. No, we don't draw because we can steal Ikko on R&D. You can pinhole it if you want. Yeah, we're in no rush to do it. If he spends it and reses it and spends most of his turn on it, we'll just pinhole it if we don't want to run back. But we definitely have to be doing this. And C2. Gets me every single time. Rashida. I don't think we mind if he draws that. But we're going to see another card, so it's fine. Ikoa. Nice. Ooh, good game. Cool. They're playing much more like, thanks to the game. Like, you know, fundamental Netrunner that you'd expect with some really cool tricks. And we have really good ways to deal with a lot of it. It's hard to play sometimes that tag package, which is click intensive, but it's nice that we have the back pocket. I wonder if we play like 2 rogue tradings. Thank you. Oh, no way. That kind of makes sense. I was happy for you to Calvin because my only multi-axis was HQ and I can deal with the remote. Yeah, that's the problem with Calvin, right? And like we've seen Calvin see a bit more play in this last season because people were playing in more acid-based matchups. But if you tell me like right now drawing cards into HQ, which was a bit tricky to run on the last couple turns, is like the best place for us to be because like we can Docklands pass. Like that's the one server that we can get multi-access on for the first couple turns. 3 spins and 3 MCA in the opening 2 hands. Yeah, the MCA, the uniced MCA early was kind of a tell that things were weird. Yeah, we have more value than we need. Thunder Art Gallery, how many times did it fire? Thunder Art Gallery. So we installed it for cheap. Once. No. Twice. 3 times? 4 times? 5 times? It fired 5 times. That's probably not amazing. But we're figuring out how to play the deck. And obviously we can make some changes. That's really cool. Yeah. All right. What can we change? Hey, cheers. Thanks for the game. Yeah, by the way, Ba streams, if you're not familiar, puts up video content. The link will be in the description, but Ba Ramu on YouTube. Okay, we can make some small changes to this, I reckon. We can talk about what worked, what didn't work. I think an early 20ing is kind of nice. I'm not sure what else, like, word up. Hey, good game, Ba. I know you've been playing that sort of deck on your stream recently. I'm not sure if you made changes or not. But it's fun. I think Mirror Morph is so fun. I think being able to deny the subliminal means Mirror Morph absolutely, like, falls off real hard. Okay, so things that we have. Iro Ayase Pessoa, unfortunately, like, just doesn't make a lot of sense, and we're probably better off playing Unity. We didn't see Nukas. Nuka seems really good. Next time we get him. Nukas seem really good too. If we drop Iru, we can play a Unity. The Amakua would actually be pretty good. We did see Mavires, so they're still heavy Mavires, but now we have 1 influence, so we can't really get there. Paladin Puemo was like slightly clumsy. It was slightly clumsy. I don't think Mystic Miami is better. The fact that Mystic doesn't work with networking is absolute such a shame. Not that we have that many events, but we're on 46 cards here. I think the engine is kind of cool. It's like, maybe we need to play more tag synergy stuff. It's like the rogue trading is good. That fires enough. We lost Iru. The problem is like by the time Iru is good, we probably have like the twinning set up anyways. And so that's kind of the issue with Iru, is that we're not struggling to get tags that hard. Bachlan seemed good. Should probably try to get some sleep now. Jai, thanks for dropping in. Hopefully we can get some rest done. We have 1 influence left over. What do we do with 1 influence? NFLs seem fine. Swap Paladin for Iru. I don't know. It's like, I'd rather swap Paladin maybe for a second twinning, let's be honest. Because like that is an important way for us to play control. The Paladin was okay. Like the Paladin's not bad. We have enough we don't have that much hardware, but like it doesn't feel awful. But it does, it's not the best, you're right, with all the, we can maybe get rid of it with all our companions. Sorry, all our connections. It felt like you barely had the time to click rogue trading and it was a slower matchup. It's not that we barely had time to click rogue trading, it's what we didn't need to click rogue trading. And I think you're right that there's a big chance that rogue trading should be a 2 of, because it's only really good once we set up the rest of our engine. We don't need it in our opening hand. Yeah, 2 is fine, I think that's true. Plus when Cheswa Coffee did so much work, I liked Cheswa a fair bit. Now we have a lot of influence to work with. Maybe a second Nuka is good, because we need more card draw. That maybe affords us to play only 120 because we can find it a bit more consistently. What can we play at 2 influence? 2 influence, like we also want to play a Miss Bones, I reckon, at some point. Echelon, Unity, Kurapira. Is there a better Fractor that we care about? I don't think so. We're back to 47 cards not using all our influence, like, which is a look. It's definitely a look. Huh. I don't have a good idea what to do with influence. I think it's pretty likely that Thunder Art Gallery is a 3-of, doesn't make sense that much. But we're going to do it until like we really test out the card and then like obviously drop down to 2-of and have it as a nice value piece if we draw it soon enough. And that's okay. That's totally fine. We also could like play red team. DJ Fenders for next set's Anarch ID ability. Oh yeah, Axu. The problem is like the net set Anarch ID ability is almost definitely a clone and not a Gmod, right? Because the Anarchs are all about the clone subtype in the upcoming set, I'm pretty sure. Crim confirmed S tier doesn't need no influence. Like, do we just play a Mystic? I don't think it's that good. Is Reclaim anything? What are our virtuals? Our virtuals, I don't think we have any. We have no virtuals. Yeah, Reclaim is like a recursion card. Like Simulchip, also, I don't think we need. Yeah. Reclaim is a weird card. It's like kind of slow. It's worth noting that we can, nobody plays these, but the what's it called? those made up creatures, the zoo crypto animals, not lack kind of crypto animal. You know what I mean? The what are they called? Like the one with the wings and the one with the fish. Those are still in the game, and like that's like Geist energy. I don't think we need it, but it's nice to have those cards because those cards are cryptids. Thank you. Yeah, the cryptids, because the cryptids are really slow. And they're really click intensive, and the cryptids might actually be really good when we install them clicklessly with Thunder Art Gallery. Yeah, Bitey Boyd. That's what are they actually called? Shit. They are cryptids, but I don't know the name. DJ Fenders for the Haley reprint that exists in our heart. It would be really good. Haley with Thunder Art Gallery would be kind of cool. It's amazing if you installed them off Chevza flip switch. No. Oh, the Liberated? I think Liberated is a bit slow. Yeah, but it's Gabal and Kagamato. Thank you. I just needed to know one, and then you know the both. But these cards were pretty core in these packages. It's another thing that like playing, what's it called, makes slightly more sense, playing the back. But Break the Last Subroutine on Encounter Piece of Ice, that's usually the one that ends the run. That's okay. The problem is like installing this for 2 credits when it doesn't draw you a card to give you money is pretty slow. So Gabaldi and Kangamato are options, but yeah, it definitely makes me miss Geist for sure. But the idea that you could install these clicklessly with Thunder Art Gallery feels a bit better, but at the end of the day, I don't think these are better than just our Breaker Suite. Mondio Smart Bind, it's okay. Yeah, 2 influence is hard here. We also have probably too many cards, like 47 cards. We want to play as few as possible so we get our engine. So let's try and cut an Amakua. It does make sense with Chesva. I think maybe we can consider cutting that. It's actually maybe worth playing because it's good with Echelon, Unity. Let's play this and see how it feels. Cool. Red Team is another card that I'd want to consider playing because we don't play a lot of run events, and like having that money off Central, especially with the Chesva engine, maybe that's a bit too rich. But that's nice. I think Red Team for 4 credits feels pretty good in as, especially with like the whole engine. And I don't think we want to play Prognostic in this list. We're not a corp. I'll fix that in a second. Runner. Solidarity badge for remove tag. It's okay. The problem is you have to float the tag for the whole turn, right? And we don't want to end our, like, we have to start our turn tagged, which is not the thing that we're trying to do. We want to remove the tag pretty quickly. Oh, Gachapon. I like Gachapon actually, Ba. Oh, I like Gachapon a fair bit. We don't have any virtuals though, but it like allows us to find programs. We have a bunch of unique cards that we don't want extra copies of, and by that I mean the console and the Thunder Eye Gallery. That's not a bad idea. I'll try it. Our deck is already a bit bloated, but I'm kind of a Gachapon enjoyer. But yeah, Solidarity Badge is hard because we're not trashing cards a lot. 48 cards to put a Gachapon in? Are we like adding consistency at the cost of inconsistency? You know what I mean? We have no virtuals. So it's only to find a program. That's 7. Nah, there's no way that's right. The chance of hitting a program off of the Gachapon is like kind of unlikely. Hey, it's Ike. It's up. Hey, Ike. Thanks, you too. All right, so this could be any sort of op. It's hard to tell. Boomerang is pretty rough into like the heavy border control, rush out into the remote server kind of op. But we have Bayabans, Chesva. That's maybe not enough to keep this hand. Because we could do Chesva, we could Bayabans, but we don't have a really good install of this. So I'm going to mulligan. Boomerang for the remote server is really good into anything besides border control, but I don't love this hand. It's like, it all comes together of whether we get something good off the Bayabans. I wonder if 3 Chesva is too rich because we can't really make this play. I think we need to open with like, with an Econ card. And for what it's worth, like Dirty Laundry is actually really reasonable in the deck because making an archives run makes sense for you so that, you know, you can do Chesva masterwork is kind of important. This is almost really good. I'm going to mulligan this, but we're going to keep this one in mind because I don't think it's obvious. This hand is probably okay. We find a sure gamble off Nuka. You have twinning? Do we have twinning? I don't think twinning early though makes sense. Like you can't afford 3 credits that soon. Because we have to set up and then we transition to twinning. Oh, as a virtual. Sorry, it wasn't in the hand. You're right. Did Ike mull? Ike kept. Okay. So we just face check into this. I don't think we care. If we had what's it called? We'd have a what's it called? A bravado, but we just want to force them to res ice. If it's a boarding control, it's a thimble rig. That's fine. We have Amakua. Do we do Amakua charge the remote server? It's not good into the matchup, but getting a Rashida down here seems really nice. I think we will. It allows us still to play Nuka. We're going to be destitute after this, but we can trash a Rashida early, which is nice. Can you stop showing me the Radam? Yeah, okay. And we can sell Nuka for free at a minimum. We're going to have to click for some credits here. It's not an easy deck, so this looks like it is the scoring op. So it's not easy. Heck, it's not easy to play on Makua because they're probably running 3 Virus. They also were weak to Diversion there, but we're not playing Diversion, and I think I might know that. All right, Nuka, we need answers here. We have Rogue Trading. Genuinely, we could hit Rogue Trading and like take 6. It's 3 clicks for 6 credits. If they clear the tag for us by destroying the Rogue Trading, I don't think we're too upset. I'm going to do it because I don't think they have tag punishment, and trashing either of these is kind of hard for them unless they get a Rashida here. We can always use Buy a Bands to remind you to like remove a tag, which is not something we considered. It's another Rashida. Bummer. That's the only way that they can afford to trash one of these, I think. Playing Pursuit into Bands to get the turtle and run the server was an option there. Oh shit, HQ is open. You're right. We could have just pursued. I didn't realize that at all. Yeah, Pursuit HQ floated tag turn 1 is sick. That's a 7 credit econ card. That was a way better start. Like I just totally dismissed it because like we obviously didn't have any tag stuff down. But yeah, Pursuit, then Buy a Bands for turtle is really good. Yeah, I'm gonna feel bad about that for a while. Glitching out in a match versus 2 by Dyke. They trashed it. I think we're okay with that. Do they continue to trash the Nuka? It's really hard. We don't know what server 3 is. So I only found out about this recently enough from talking to the author and to Pat, but there's so many references in the 2 by Dyke story that come from Sleepy Hollow, the Headless Horseman. And I wasn't familiar with that narrative, but like the name 2 by Ike itself, B Bones, all this sort of stuff. There's a lot of references there. Unfortunately, I didn't know any of them because I haven't read the lore, but that's really good to know. Okay. Bachlan Botchkin's good into the matchup for sure. We have a Thunder Art Gallery. Installing that's kind of rough. You technically can install it first with Buy a Bands. I think your going R&D will drop down to 4 credits. We can draw 2. We can install. Installing a Thunder Art Gallery here is not particularly good. I guess we open with Nuka, right? We want a sure gamble. Okay, double Hot Pursuit's not great. Like the problem here is now we have to use Buy a Bands to clear the tag probably. I don't know what this is. It costs us only credit and a click to check. We've seen 2 Rashidas so far. Not sure what it could be. I think we can Buy a Bands it. Do you think we take 4 credits here to trash? What do you think it was going to be in this remote server? It's really hard to tell. Clearing the tag is like not incredibly important. If they move the Thimblerick to HQ, that's really good for us. This is if successful. So if that's a Chrysium, which they started playing Chrysium in a lot of these op decks. I don't want to draw. I think I'm going to pay 4 and we're going to remove a tag. It's Rashida. Okay, so we wasted some value there. There was this 3rd Rashida in the opening, basically. Okay, that's cool. We don't have our ability yet, so we can get them Masterwork. Our next thing we want to do is Hot Pursuit, but Hot Pursuit into the Chrysium is pretty rough. Buy a Bands into the Chrysium is also pretty rough. So the only way that we favorably deal with Chrysium Grid, unfortunately, is with Miss Bones, which is a 1 in 36 on this hand. This hand fell apart, and I think that's going to be a problem with this sort of deck is that we don't have a lot of robust early game economy, but we have like mid game engine, and we have to bridge that gap. And forcing us in the remote server as soon as possible is like not going to be great for us. I think here we can just probably credit. It's going to be hard to use. The Masterwork for 1 credit is probably not that bad. We don't have Dirty Laundry. Like it's hard us to get value off of that. Oh, that's actually a good low credit econ card there. Okay. What are we getting rid of? Twinning is important. Hot Pursuits are kind of hard with the Chrysium on HQ, but that's probably the only way that we get back into the game. It's likely the tag, unfortunately. It's just way too expensive. Was it worth installing Thunder for 1 less, then remove a tag to use that Thunder, install a Twinning or Masterwork? I don't really want to install the Twinning. It's way too expensive. Installing the Masterwork, yeah, maybe. Because it installs for free. That's kind of cool. I was expecting that, like, I think that was a missed call, but I thought that might have been a more expensive card. Like, I don't know. This doesn't look like a deck that's running Svigator, but that would be an important thing to trash. Or like a Regolith. I wasn't expecting it to be a 3rd Rashida. Like even a Spin Doctor, maybe we'd have to trash. I think we get rid of the tag here, unfortunately. But yeah, installing the Twinning as fast as possible is like not a winning line because we don't have any way to charge it, let alone we need our money to like build our board state and not get this down cheaper. But yeah, even draw 2 maybe is fine. Just to be able to get into some economy cards. We're technically on 5 credits here, right? The Chrysium is really difficult for us. That is going to be a hard thing. There's no way around it. It kind of was out of the format for a while. It's not so much diversion. We have to wait for them to be, ooh, you see, that's the one we need to deal with. Now they have like infinite credits. This is what you want to buy abandons. Do we buy abandons this? I think we have to know if we lunch buy abandons. R&D is open, mind you. We can farm turning Amakua counters, but we have to watch out. There's 3 Mavirus usually in the list. I think we have to get rid of the Regolith. Otherwise, they get a 1-coster and 9 more credits. We're going to remove that. Just so we're in server 3 here. We'll draw 2 cards and probably use the 4 credits. Ooh. Okay. R&D is wide open. We can get down to no free lunch. Hey, Samur, how's it going? We can get some accesses here. They haven't fired their ability a lot. I think running HQ maybe is a bit more important. We can see if it actually is a Crisium. If it's a Mavirus, we want to deal with it sooner than later. And if it is a Mavirus, we can actually go hard this turn. Let's try and take it. Why do we NFL there? Because there was a chance. We didn't need to. We probably had to do anyways. I thought there was a chance we'd draw into a card, but you're right. We wouldn't install the card. We didn't have to know NFL there. I think we end up NFLing in the next, like, we do it probably now anyways, so it's fine. It's going fine, thank you. Yeah, we're playing a tag-based, like, Thunder Art Gallery deck. Let's see if there is a Crisium. We want that to be a Mavirus. Spin Doctor. So this is a Spin Doctor? They're flooded if they're raising a Spin Doctor into an HQ run. They're super flooded. Mind you, they've gone, but they shuffle back. Regolith Rashida? So they're shuffling the Spin Doctor assumingly to res this card, which is Spin Doctor. It's a Mavirus. Oh, so they're getting a 2-coster. They're getting Regolith back. So now at least we know we can Hot Pursuit and totally flood the tags. So this is a Spin Doctor. We know there's a Regolith in the remote server, so they have money. That's a really cool line. So maybe we should have seen that to be a Mavirus. If we don't trash this, we can do credit Hot Pursuit. And this gets us back into the game. Yeah, Thunder Gallery so far, we've played technically 2 games. In the one game that we actually did, like the deck did something, it felt okay. It's probably not a 3 of. It's probably like genuinely not the best part of the deck, and you can play the rest of the deck. But it's really cool because we can clear tags during runs for Chesva and on the corpse turn. So you get a bit more life out of it, which is nice. And here we can float a tag. So we know that's an upgrade for sure. So they could easily be calibration testing, Tucana. We didn't get Amakua counter there. We'll float a tag here. So on our turn, we can do like Thunder Art Gallery, no free lunch, clear the tag, install the Bachlan. We probably want a Hot Pursuit here. They need another ice. They really need another ice here. They didn't get another ice here. Okay. 3 networking, only one networking. I think it's okay. Like technically no free lunch and flip switch are a bit better because you can do them during runs and use your Chesva credits to install cards. So like networking is not probably a 3 of. Let's draw for an option here. Like this is cool if we had Chesva, and we'd love a Chesva here. So we know they have a Spin Doctor in hand. Let's just send it HQ. We're gonna float 2 tags for a turn. Install a hardware. Yeah, why not? This means we can also now like face check into Stavka and not worry about Amakua that much. The 1-coster they get from this can easily be also a Malapert Data Vault, which is a bit annoying if they're scoring out. I think we will trash that. Okay, let's just try and get some accesses to get the turtle to be something. And we might actually go tag me for a minute. Extract, that's really good for them because they can get rid of the Thimble Rig. Installing Class Act here is actually kind of reasonable. If they trash it, I don't think we mind. And we can, oh, we used our ability. Yeah, we probably shouldn't install the flip switch. Oh, but we had Masterwork. Yeah, that's fine. Is that all their Spin Doctors down? I think that was the second one. We just accessed it twice. The first time we ran HQ, we didn't trash it. But now we did. So there's still one more. And it's easy for them to get it because they just like end up extracting a 1-coster. Yeah. We have Cheswas though. We have Pinhole, which is nice too. So it looks like they're extracting this Thimble Rig. Oh, the Regoliths. Yeah, that makes sense as well. And so here they can get a Malapert or an Ice Wall. Both of those we can deal with relatively well with the Amakua. We have to make sure we don't run Archives. Also Tithe sees play, and that's more taxing for us. Ice Wall, cool. So the ice we expect the strengths are 5 is the higher end with envelopment or potentially a sandstone. So we probably should be contesting this. We don't have a boomerang in our hand yet, which is a bit upsetting. If this is an agenda, we can always consider just like trashing what the server 2 is, which we think is a Tucana. So 3 ice is tricky. They have 18 credits, which is a lot. But the only way that this snowballs out of hand is a Tucana, and they kept one in hand, so there's likely one to be on the table. So we can always like get them to Chesva. We can pinhole threading server 2. We can access this card, which we think is a Tucana. Seeing 2 Rashidas out, mind you, one was shuffled back, if I'm not mistaken. That's okay. If we clear the tag with Thunder Gallery, the Chesva here is not that important. It's nice to use the Chesva though if we do tag and clear the tag. So we could, in theory, install Thunder Gallery. Puts us to 4. Install Chesva, we're down to 2. That's obviously a problem. We could run. We can use Flip Switch to clear the tag, which allows us to install, like, no free lunch. No, we should install the Chesva then. Wait. This is fun. Wait, there's some need to kickflip. Okay, so I think we do Thunder Gallery. Then I think we pinhole. Pinhole R&D. During the pinhole run, we use Flip Switch to remove a tag, which allows us to install the Chesva, and then we can use the Chesva on the run. We're probably going to underspend the Chesva by 1. We're going to get rid of the Tucana. Yeah, there you go. So now they can just score out a 3-2. We have another tag here. We can install the no free lunch, and we can pop it on their turn, so we can install Bachlan Botchkin for free because it'll be the first connection a turn. This is cool. We need to get our money up. Yeah, there's like some really cool triggers here. So we probably need to get our money up. We need a draw. A Bravado would have been okay. We can go HQ to see 1 card. So we need to get the no free lunch down. We'll just do that before we forget. And now we can run R&D, I guess. We install the Bachlan for free. It's okay. It's good into board control. Get an access. We've seen no agendas yet. This is fine. And we can trash like whatever small thing we see. That's a Whoredom. That's a hard card for us to deal with. Then on their turn, not that I think they'll trash our stuff. On 18 credits they might, because they might just double advance this and leave this, which is a problem. So on their turn, we'll remove the tag. We can install a card from our grip. It's a Bachlan. It comes in for free. Kind of cool. So now here we just need more ways to get tags. We don't have that many. Hey, Wibioli, how's it going? Oh, Audacity. That's sick. It's an Alice of the counter. That's really frightening. So now we have to lock the top of R&D really bad. They threw out their whole hand. Running Archives is a bit messed up because there's a virus in there. But we're in an okay spot here. Hot Pursuit on HQ is really good. That's the way that we get money back in here. The run is not fantastic, but here we need to get the Hot Pursuit off. Shit, wait, how do we do this? We can do the Hot Pursuit on HQ. And then we can clear the tag with no free lunch to get down to twinning. This is where actually a networking would have been fine. So we need to run R&D. We'll start there. I think that's more important. We know they have a Whoredom in the bin. But this is really frightening because now any agenda that can go straight into server 2 here. Extract off the top. That's really reasonable for them because now they can ice wall for a Spin Doctor to get some card draw. So here I think we go HQ. We break for 1. For free. Continue. They can swap the Thimblerig around. I think getting one of these ice wall, I'm surprised, but the Purge now puts us out. And then we can install the no free lunch. We can install the twinning on our turn or their turn. I don't think it makes a big difference. It's fun to do it on their turn. They have that in hand. So we'll remove a tag. We'll get down to twinning for 2 credits. Cool. We actually could have done that during the run, but we only had the tag after the run is over. So it doesn't actually work. We'd have to hold for a turn. And now this is scary because we can see every card in HQ here because we'll have the twinning Chesva combo. So they need to get more ice up. Put something in the remote server is really not good for us. That's okay. This is okay. We need more card draw. We need to find our second Nuka here. Just don't die to Ezyev. Oh, you're right. We could die to Ezyev. Advance. Scary. Okay. Don't die to the Ezyev is good. So they have 15 credits. So we have to watch out for border control. We can break that. We don't have that much money. We have to draw here as a start. Okay, we have Decoder. Losing both our breakers to Ezyev is pretty bad. But this looks like a slash and burn unless it's a greedy Atlas. We have 7 credits. Bachlan Botchkin can derez the border control, giving us a tag. We can clear the tag to Thunder Eye Gallery down a breaker later on in the run if we need to. We can see the top 2 of R&D. We know the card in HQ is extract. Yeah, border control they'd have to pop immediately, which is not bad. If there's an envelopment here, we can't Bachlan it, but I think we're okay forcing him to res some ice. It might give them lines on extract, but I think we have to push for it. And if this doesn't work out, we can run. We can't boost the Amakua. Like, it's actually hard to use Cheswa during an R&D run. No Masterwork. It's a boarding control. So they have to consider popping it right now. Otherwise, we're going to Backlin it. We're going to Backlin it. So we take a tag. It's derezzed. There's a chance we get in here, as long as this is not an envelopment. If it's a sandstone, we do get through. So they have to pop it as soon as they res it. I wonder if we waited long enough. I think we did. That's an easy thing to misplay. We might get them by surprise on that line. So if they slide the thimble rig back, it's totally fine for us. They do. That's weird. We're totally fine with this. I think we're going to steal an agenda. I think it's a slash and burn. Above the law. Oh, sick. Okay. So they have an extract in hand. This is border control. We have a tag. Losing the twinning would be bad. So we can drop once here. Rogue trading. We're going to have some tags. We might be able to go tag me. I wonder if we can just offshore off the twinning and then just play hardware. It's probably not the best. But here I think we have to clear tag, which allows us to install at least the rogue trading for free, which is not bad. This is not awful. Like, we did the thing we wanted to do and we got a card for it, as much as we didn't save money on this. So they have an unknown card and an extract in hand. Extract for the ice wall to get a spin doctor I think makes a lot of sense. They've seen 3 copies of our hopper suit, so there's not a lot of HQ pressure here unless if they know we're not on diversion. A diversion here would be actually quite great. So ideally here, yeah, we rogue trading to see deeper. They're going to extract, yeah. Let's see if they get a spin doctor. If they get a spin doctor here, we can just go HQ. It's a Rashida. Okay. So we're going to draw. We have a pinhole, but we also have a sure gamble. I think we need to pinhole the Rashida. So we pinhole the Rashida. If we rogue trading, we get a tag. We don't know the card in HQ. It could be anything. If we run R&D, they have to res. If it's a Stavka, it's 7 strength. That's a problem for us. I think we just want to keep drawing. Okay. Pinhole the Rashida so savage. I love it. Yeah, we have to. It's only 1 credit for us too. I think we just continue to draw through our deck. That's not great. Hardware? Oh, we actually can install this. It comes in for free. Yeah, it cycles through our deck. It's not the most important card to have here. It costs us like functionally 1 credit because we're going to use the Cheswa on the Rashida. Here we need money. So next turn, we actually might just do rogue trading, and float 2 tags and just say whatever. Right? Like, we're kind of playing from behind here. Having another block can be really important because, like, yeah, the border control math gets messed up pretty hard. I think we bottomed 1 at some point. But yeah, all our money's tied up into this this resource. Install card. Dawkins Pass, we can run HQ, see both. Here, anything in the remote server is a bit problematic. Losing our breakers to ASIAF is also like a real thing. I wonder how long we have to be respect Stavka. I don't think we can for much longer. We can't really run archives. We'll draw once. Otherwise, we can do rogue trading. They have 17 credits somehow. Oh man, if that is like straight up, I think it's rogue trading. If they trash the twinning, like we only try and win off Docklands, that's a bit hard here. In terms of the ways to get rid of tags, we haven't seen a networking yet. We've played 3 no free lunches and 1 flip switch. So there's only 1 more card in our deck besides networking that clears the tag on tempo. Did you pay 2 for Docklands Pass? Shouldn't it be 1 with Az? Yeah, but you pay 1 more with Masterwork, right? Because it increases you pay 1 more because of the Masterwork click compression. So it balances out the Az, right? I think we just do rogue trading float. If they score out, they can't trash the twinning. I'm going to do it. This might be wrong. We also could be run and then we use Masterwork to cycle the Masterwork. It's just like, it's hard because we have to be able to deal with 7 strength Stavka, let alone Mavirus into Stavka, even on the minimum is like a problem. Thunberg on HQ. They might get rid of that because we can run HQ here. Yeah, no problem. Okay, cool. Double advance. Hostile, nice. We have bad publicity. We love bad publicity with Masterwork. And they didn't trash the rogue trading. That's kind of cool. Class act for draw, networking top deck. It's unlikely, but as soon as we commit to a single draw, we can't do rogue trading twice. And that's the issue. So like we have to decide on our first click whether we want to rogue trading for 12 or rogue trading for 6 is a huge difference. Because if we take a tag for 6 credits, then they trash our board, including the rogue trading. But on 2 tags, now trashing the rogue trading is a bit less interesting. We probably need to run this. We know it's border control. We have enough money. We can run centrals. We can run HQ. Obviously, we see the whole hand, which is one card. If it's a virus, we'll hit it. I think running R&D is important here. This is tricky. Getting down the echelon's kind of butt, because like dealing with Stavka is really, really difficult. I think we have to draw once here for something. That's almost something. That's actually pretty good. Let's just go HQ and hope it's not the virus. I wonder if we have to just not respect Stavka at some point. Install a piece of hardware here. I don't think we will. I think we'll try and use this off the run. It's really good with bad publicity. Maybe get 2 more counters on Stavka can be countered. It can until they like res a 3-coster, but that's the idea here. So if we get a counter, we feel fine. We can farm it for free. We'll use the bad publicity. Actually, we should use the Ches. No, if we're going to run again, we should use the bad publicity first. Reach. So we'll draw 2. Kurapira is nice. Class Act is also fine. We can use the Chesva on it. I think we need more card draw more than we need a killer Fractor right now. As much as this is obviously good into the border control remote server. Oops. You know what I did, didn't you? Yeah, you know what I did. I've never done that one before. That's totally new. Remove tag? Oh, remove tag is kind of fun too. But I think we're going to play tag me. Remove tag actually is kind of better. We didn't get any information though, so I don't feel terrible about this. So here we want to continue. So we break 1 and the run. We'll use the bad publicity. Continue. Yeah, remove the tag lets us install it. It's actually the same text. Holy shit, you're right. It's the same text as biobands. We should definitely remove the tag. I'm glad I messed that up. So we already drew 2 here. So these go on top of the deck, right? Yeah. Wait, what was our turn? We really goofed this up. So it was click 1 biobands. Okay, so we should be here. Oh no, we drew once. Okay, this is correct. Yeah, Izzy, thank you. How are you doing, by the way? But yeah, the text technically on the bottom of biobands is the exact same as remove a tag. So we'll remove 1 tag, which allows us to install a card for -1. So then class act comes down. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Here we want to make sure we don't hit him a virus. We will hit whatever is there. It's an ice wall. What? Did I mess it up? No, I don't know what this is. I'm just going to close prompt and hope that we didn't do wrong. Is that good? We did 2 things. We did remove a tag and we draw 2. Yeah, close prompt. Doing well, getting ready for PAX U, staying cozy in winter weather. Oh, we got to shout out the PAX U thing because we have to count. I'm stoked that you were going to PAX U. I hope you have a good time. So now we're on 7 counters with Amakua. 7 strength, right? Why does it say it's 6? What's going on here? What is going on with the Amakua? What is going on with the Amakua? Does anybody know what this is? It says 6 strength, but it says 7 virus counters. Huh? Which one is correct? It should be 6, yeah? That is weird. It is weird. It is weird. It was 5 before the run. I think it's on 6. Okay, so here if they start trashing or twinning, we're in a bad spot. We can always run HQ once and then run R&D. And no matter what the size is, we get through and we can see 3 cards. I think that is the line. I don't know why it's at 7. Maybe the undo click goofed it. I think it might have. I think it should be on 6. So we'll do counter 6 and we'll just fix it. You might be asking why we're accessing this card. It's just get Amakua to 7 so that the only way you get blown out is if this is a virus and that's a Stavka, which like whatever, we'll take that. Now we'll run R&D and we'll lock hopefully the top of the deck. Who knows? Install a hardware there. I'd love to have a boomerang. It means that we actually can play around Stavka half run, but we don't. We haven't drawn a single boomerang all game, I don't think. It's a board control. Okay. We'll break the only subroutine we care about. If they pop the board control here, they probably do. They don't want to let us see 3 cards. They can trash the twinning. Yeah, this also lets them get him a virus, so it's like a really good border control pop. But if they score at a 5-pointer, they're on game point because they can pull Audacity of 3-2. But yeah, losing the twinning here would be bad. Another option was to just clear the tag to protect the twinning. They didn't. Oh, we might find him a virus here, but we'll see our cards. Border control up the top. Hostile, nice. A virus, shit. So we're going to purge that. Obviously, Amaku is undone. It's okay with the Thimblerig on HQ as much as they can move it, but at least we have a curb here. So we're going to trash that. So we only need to steal 2 agendas and we got a nice hand. Yeah, I think the nested click might have done something. Let's see what server 2 is. If it's an Ozief and it hits our Kurapira, like, we're a bit upset. We know they have a border control in hand, an ice wall in hand. Thimblerig is now in R&D. Uh-oh. They can Ozief to trash the Thimblerig. Oh, they're getting rid of the border control. Super cool. From a virus, so it's Ozief. We lost Masterwork. Kurapira? No! We had 9 cards in hand and we hit a Fractor. Shit. Okay, big thing though is they shuffled, and we have a twinning here. So we know their hand is a border control ice wall. That's totally fine. We lost our Kurapira, so now like Amaku is really important, but this Thimblerig is a huge liability. The good thing though for them is we can only run this Kurapira once, and I know punish holding breakers, but we just drew it. We drew it off the class act. Is that they can win this turn if they top deck either the Audacity. We know their whole hand, so we have to lock R&D, and we have to do it now. The Mavirus purging the Amaku is totally fine, but once they do the Thimblerig, they'll move it over, and we just can't break barriers at all for the rest of the game, besides border control. So I think if that's the case here, we just need to get as many X's as we can. So we can see 2 cards of the twinning. We have no more multi-X's for R&D, so we can just bravado R&D. Cosmic punishment for holding echelon unity. For these are fine. Those should have gone down. We're on R&D here, I'm pretty sure. We could have drawn first, actually. But now we want to make sure we use the Cheswa. Like, the stream has been game. What are we playing? Andre, yo, how's it going? We're playing Thunder Art Gallery. Excuse me, Tag Me As. And it's kind of been, like, pretty cool. It's been surprisingly functional, as much as it's obviously not, like, a tier 1 deck. It's been really quite neat. So at any point in time, they can pull an agenda to hand on the last click if they have the Audacity, but we know they don't have the Audacity, and it's scary to pull into hand with Dawkins Pass. So we'll break the end of the run with the Chesva. I know we have bad publicity, but we need to see 2 with the twinning. These are all unknown cards because they did shuffle. Now they have to move the Thimblerig. They didn't move the Thimblerig. You need to move the Thimblerig. This is the only ice we can't break. Sandstone off the top, Spin Doctor. Okay, we'll trash the Spin Doctor. So Sandstone's a problem. We have to find a border boomerang. So we'll draw. Okay. So here, clearing the tag actually is important. I think we do clear the tag. Yeah, I think holding Thimblerig is a liability. I think you like any other ice we actually are scared to face check into. So I think we do like sure gamble and we do remove a tag so that we can keep the twinning around, and we can install a card now cheaper. So I think we can show that we have the Unity. If we hold the Unity, they might goof up. We don't really need 2 Cheswa, but we're at the mid game that we're actually comfortable with. This is cool. We barely got there. This is mind you, turn 12. So kind of the late game for a lot of decks, but whatever. I think we rather show the echelon. So if they put a decoder, but the thing is we know that they're going to have sandstone to barrier into barrier. So if they double barrier R&D, we're in a really bad spot. I guess we'll just put that in Unity. They only have barriers. And if they pop the border control, it's better to have the Unity on the table. Got there, but Ob is closing out like 3 turns max. Yes. Here, drawing is scary. So in theory, they have to draw and jam into the remote server. Oh, they shuffle here. That's really good. That's a really smart play. Tattoo Bola. Yeah, we can't deal with that. Has Thimble done anything here? Kind of curious because I keep hearing it's good, but I don't believe it. Jeff, how's it going? It has been a huge liability into Amakua. But that being said, it allows you obviously to get the border control. They drew. They don't jam their remote server. We run HQ. Okay. So we know this is a barrier. If it's a border control, it's upsetting. We can go CHQ. We know this is an ice wall or border control, and then we don't know any of the cards in hand. So Boomerang run HQ is good. If we see on Audacity, we probably lose the game. But that is what we're going to do. So we're just going to run HQ. We're going to use Masterwork to install the Boomerang. We're going to put it here. 2 credits. We're going to use the Chesvas during the run. And then we're going to use the bad publicity. Masterwork for card draw. Bravado Chesva. Not great. We need to find more Boomerangs. Yeah, we need to get rips out of R&D. So here, using the Boomerang on R&D might be a bit better. Archives gives you a virus on Amakua. Oh, you're right. It does give us 1 virus. We should run Archives after this. That's a really good point. It also, yeah, it means that we can deal with anything besides... we can deal with the Ice Wall and the... Yeah, we're actually in a good spot. We can deal with 1 strength on any of these. Now, if they use a border control and pop it, that's something that's a bit more hard to interact with. But here we're going to see 2 with Dawkins Pass. We'll see 2 on R&D. Floating a tag and clearing a tag on their turn means we could install on their turn. Oh, we would need Paladin for that. I wonder if we miss Paladin. We actually do miss the setup card. But we haven't been clearing. Sandstone, okay. Good. That means that they have the border control in hand, so this boomerang is going back, which shuffles, which is important. We could have bravadoed. Oh, we drew the bravado, never mind. So we won't see with the twinning, but we'll see with Dawkins Pass. Ice Wall, border control. Okay. We knew all those cards, didn't we? So now we can bravado R&D. They should have moved the Thimble Rig off. We can see 2 cards. We don't need a bravado, but why wouldn't we? They're going to swap the Tattoo Bolo with a 1 strength ice. That's fine. So we'll run R&D here. Tattoo Bolo, break for 1, end the run. We'll use the bad publicity. Doesn't matter. We'll use both of them. And here we just need to draw a bit. Tattoo Bolo can swap for any barrier. Money's not an issue. Locking the top of the deck is an issue here. Okay, so that's either an Ice Wall or border control. Border control is probably slightly worse for us. Unity is on the table, which is good. We just use Amakua because Turtle's been good to us today. So now they need to swap it with Servitude. They should have done this last turn. They're not. I wonder why. C2. Atlas. Oh, good game. Yeah. Wow, that was a tight ending. Thanks for the game. Why did they not move the Thimble Rig off? Yeah. Were you considering moving the Thimble Rig off of R&D? Oh, the doorbell went off. Give me 1 second. I need to just grab that. I'm just going to mute 1 second. Hey, sorry about that. Swap for Sandstone. Yeah, I think back. Sorry about that. We're expecting a package I have to sign for. It wasn't. It was some like Bell door-to-door person. Yeah, swap for Sandstone there made sense, right? Like if they put the Sandstone on R&D, we struggle to deal with it for a bit. We have to like basically grind it down, which is doable. And we still have like, I think 3 boomerangs and 12 cards. So every draw we see 2. We have a chance of boomeranging it, but it's like eventually it gets pretty tricky. Thanks for the game. You should work on refining this deck. It's a sick deck, lots of fun. Yeah, it looks really cool. It looks really cool. I think the problem is like to refine it, we probably cut a Thunder Art Gallery because we don't need it in our opening hand. But there's a lot of really cool interactions here. Like way more interesting than I thought it'd be. I wonder if more networking is correct. It probably isn't though. Cheers. Catch you around, eh? Because the thing is like the networking is not the cool way that we can use Cheswa. It's not the cool way we can do it on their turn. And there's a lot more like triggers that we're trying to get value out of. That being said, I think we even botched the early game. We definitely should have just gone HQ. Off the, what's it called? The super big run. Okay, so we played a couple games with this. We see what works. I think we need a corp deck that we can barely keep up to. Boomerang helps, but we definitely should be cutting some cards. We're going to cut down Miss Bones and hopefully that's okay. So far, she hasn't been that useful. Obviously, she's a very good card. Rogue Trading as a 2-of feels good enough. No free lunch. Like maybe the flip switch is just good enough because it means we can use it during a run and it comes in for 0 credits. We should rationalize every card. Challenge me on anything here, but Masterwork is nice because it's a good card draw engine. It comes in for 1 credit in a card draw, and that's a pretty good like cantrip. We still have 13 influence. We still have 2 influence. Sorry, we're 13 to 15. So like we were thinking of Gachapon. -1 tag. You're probably right. -1 tag, but I'm going to continue playing with it today because it's kind of like we're trying to get as many triggers on this as possible. We had Paladin, Simir. We had Paladin. We just cut it so that we can play Unity. Paladin, mind you, is 3 influence. So if we cut Paladin, or if we put Paladin, we have to either challenge Echelon or Unity. I think maybe 3x flip switch, 2 NFL, 2 tag, 2 networking. That's worth a shot. So the thing, Jot, right? Like why I really like NFL is that it's money for a deck that doesn't have early money. Like we cracked this for 3 credits and it honestly was okay. So maybe we do 3 NFL, 2 flip switch. Because I think NFL is actually more useful because we can do it during a run, but we can also do it on the corpse turn. The difference with flip switch is that it's free and it draws a card, but I'd argue that NFL is probably a bit more viable. It's just nice to have other text on this. -1 echelon, +1 paladin, +1 carbon. Yeah, that might be fine. We haven't installed an echelon yet. Diesel for last 2 influence always feels decent. Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. Diesel's almost never awful. Let's try another networking to see how good we can do that. So let's do another networking. We'll cut the echelon. We'll play a paladin. So at least we've used our influence. Paladin is fine. I like the NFLs. Yeah, doing on the corpse turn is really good. I think I like the NFLs a fair bit. 2 networking, like that might actually be the easiest cut that we go down to this on 46. Maybe this is fine. Oh, we didn't put the Carmen back in. Okay. It's just, I feel like the networking is the card that we want to get much later. Yeah, I need Carmen. I forgot to add Carmen. I was like, why are we low cards? 47 feels bad. Like this deck should be thin. Like maybe we should be on only 2 Thunder Art galleries, but yeah, we're going to try and not do that. Bachlan has been like overperforming. Let's keep this. Let's try this. It's fine. It's slightly better maybe. Let's see if Carmen versus what's it called? It's like making drafters really bad, but let's just say that this deck, because we have 3 border control, sorry, I keep doing that. If we have 3 boomerang, we're not that worried about the early ugly, what is it, like 4 credit break of drafter. That being said, it's even worse with echelon if you have to break it, so early. Hey, it's Tron 4. Tron 4 likes playing for a late game. This actually might be Hyper Glacier. Tron 4 really likes the sort of like grindy Red Planet Courier stuff, so I'm a bit worried. At least Boomerang's pretty good in that list. This is where we get Thunder Art Gallery in our opening hand and we don't love it. We're going to mulligan this for sure. Tag networking. That's definitely in line. We have Sure Gamble to like support some of this. But yeah, we saw at Italian Nationals a lot of people playing like Built to Last, and I think it was all sort of like Saga-esque Hyper Glacier. All right, looks like a Rashida. We're not very good in Mess and Chess though. Mind you, if we want to play around a certain meta we could expect, you could always play like Air Blades. That's also fine too. Let's just go R&D. Did Tron keep? Tron kept. Challenging central servers is not that bad. It's like a cat is a bit annoying. Draw 2 cards. We can install a Chesva. Yeah, what else are we doing here? That was good. Okay, we need to keep drawing up. We didn't install hardware, we didn't install a job, so we'll just do Masterwork for 1. And now we can run with Masterwork, cycle the Masterwork with the Chesva, it's fine. Rashida early, maybe we should have contested server 1. I think the only blowout is if they pay 5 to res a Mess and a Chesva and we lose 3, it's not that bad. That's probably okay. Yeah, nice instant copy rebate. It's really good that it actually did something right there. Install advance. Okay, NGO front, something in their remote server. Again, I'm worried that this is Hyper Glacier. Then another advance on that's not too great. So challenging this, right? Like Boomerang's at least really good at dealing with stuff like Pharaohs. But here we in theory can run R&D. We can use the Chesva to Masterwork for the Masterwork to cycle through our deck. I think that's fine. We don't have a really good use for the Chesva on this turn. So we'll use Masterwork for this Masterwork. Okay. Cool. I guess we can do that again this turn. There's also Rick Shoot variant from Italian Nationals. That's really cool. Okay. Damn Groundhog Day out here. What's going on? Is that not exactly what happened last turn? We can either trash this here or install a Chesva and trash it. Like run back. I don't think we want to run back. I think we just draw a credit. Next turn we'll Docklands pass off of the R&D run if they get it to us. Not a great start. We need a Boomerang to charge server 1 as soon as possible and that we deny the Rashida. They really need ice up R&D. And then after that archives. Again, they have more money than we think we do. Triple advance? Atlas? Oh, okay, cool. That's fine. This might be a slightly different deck than we were worried about. So we can run R&D here just a cycle. Again, this engine is so valuable. So we can install the Docklands Pass, comes in for 1 credit cheaper, draws a card. We have a class act that used our ability. It's a Valen Chow. Okay, surprised to see that. That's kind of cool. We love bad publicity. What were we watching? But we saw, I think at SOS, some of those like remove bad publicity cards, which like they're kind of cursed, and I'm glad nobody plays them. We installed this for 4 this turn to draw a bunch of cards, and we go down to really low money, and that's not great. Yeah, not against our plus list was pretty wild. Running HQ here is not too bad. We see 2 with Docklands Pass. I think we'd really appreciate a boomerang for that. If it's like a Pharaohs, we have networking. They can't res a Pharaohs. I think we can go HQ here. Ideally, if we have the Cheswa, we can't lose it to anything. Let's force a res. Let's find out something. They have more money than we think they do. And Cat advancing the NGO friend's not like amazing. Yeah, Valenchow and Roughneck repair. Oh, it's a Valenchow. Okay. It's good to have bad publicity in this list, but if they just like put a Roughneck repair squad on the table, it's pretty ugly. So they res this for functionally 3 credits. That's pretty good. It's cool to see this card slowly see play outside of faction. Sai? What Sai? To lose 2 credits, we can't lose the Cheswa, right? Because we have to spend. Yeah, we can't lose. But bad publicity, you can lose to Valenchow. Oaktown, push. Whoa, here if we have a boomerang, they get absolutely blown out. I look out of faction means out of outfit. You know what I mean. They're on game point. This is just a rush deck. This is cool. Okay, I'm more into this kind of Netrunner. I think it's funny you played it with the wrong idea all weekend. Forgot his Lismari at home. Oh, really? Oh, because Paul, you played it. Yeah. Yeah, right. Never mind. So here we need a bit more. We can force some reses. We've seen a Valenchow here. I think if they res a Valenchow, we're pretty happy about it because we can swing centrals. So I'm going to force a res on a Valenchow. It could be a border control. They have more money than we think they do, right? That's the issue with the NGO front. But I think we're pretty happy here running. We only lose 1 credit if they res a Valenchow. They might be on regulatory capture. Vonric, I'm doing well. How are you doing? Welcome to the stream. How's your Tuesday been? We're playing some tag as Thunder Eye Gallery. It's been okay. Yeah, second Valenchow. We're happy with that. We only lose 1 credit. We actually go through. They needed to pop the NGO front. Do it up. Yeah. The math on that's not intuitive. Okay, now they have 9 credits, so now it ends the run. Cool. So they're going to score at Oaktown. They'll be on more money. From here, we can go central servers. I would love to have something to actually install. Getting out of twinning is good, but we have no way to use the Chesva credits unless we have a hardware in hand. We need to get the class act down, but we don't have a lot of money to do that. Bet this week, finally recovered from being sick and got some good feedback on the study. Yo, glad you're feeling better. Yeah, how's your schooling been? I think we install the class act for 3 and just click your credits. It's a shame that we just don't have a good, like we don't have hardware in hand. And the deck doesn't have that much hardware for what it's worth. But we just need options here. Yeah, Boomerang is really good. Then we can get down the twinning potentially. We have a Hot Pursuit. There's a score out in Oaktown. So now we can like do the Boomerang into the, we actually can start to do our thing. Thinking, this is really difficult. We have to plan out this hand relatively well. Okay, so Boomerang onto Valenchow is fine. The runner loses 2 credits, doesn't matter because we probably won't have money. And then we can get off a Hot Pursuit. Then we can do a No Free Lunch Chesva combo. We can use Biobands as well. What does that sound? That sounds fine. So I think that's what we do. We can, I think we just Hot Pursuit here, right? And we install with the Boomerang. Us getting money is really important for all of these because with 2 bad publicity, the face check on this is not relevant anymore. The planning on this turn is a bit tricky. I don't know whether we need another copy of Chesva down. I think with bad publicity, that's a bit extra. So let's just go HQ. Install a piece of hardware, we will. So we'll get the Boomerang on this. We'll use the Chesva credits because we can't lose those. And then Masterwork draws. We get a filter draw, Paladin Puemo, and Sure Gamble. Having money up front seems more important in this matchup, especially with 2 Chesva and bad publicity. So we'll put this here. We'll continue to counter. We'll Boomerang the subroutines. We're doing our thing. The bad publicity matchup is really fun with Masterwork, let alone Prognostic. I wonder if we could play 1 Prognostic. So we don't want them to have money. We can lose our bad publicity, no problem. We'll access, we'll see 2 cards. They've gone through, mind you, they're only on 18 agenda points. They've gone through like 16 cards, 15 cards. They probably have another agenda in hand. We'll see 2. We can't steal trash. Oh, we can. Oppo. Oh, shit. Okay. Ah! Sick. Sick. We lost Biobands, Chesva, and No Free Lunch. 0 to trash. Okay. If we trash this, we get oppoed. Should you use the bad pub for the install? Oh, you're right. Yeah, because we could have kept the Cheswa for trash. Yeah, you're totally right. Yeah, we should have used the bad pub for the install. Yeah, snare jump scare, it's real. Okay, so we trashed this. If they oppo us, it cost them actually 7 credits. They might be on too big to feel. I think we can't trash this. Shuffle that back. Okay, cool. So what did we lose? We lost a no free lunch and a Cheswa. The no free lunch was the good card here. So we have 2 tags. So we can do Thunder Art Gallery, remove tag, remove tag. I wish we had a way to remove the tag in our hand. Network. I know we're good at networking here. It's actually going to be pretty okay. So I think we do. I don't think we Thunder Art Gallery this hand, do we? Thunder Art Gallery. We can install it. We go to 6. We go to 5-4. We install like a Croupier. I don't think we tag this turn. I think we tag next turn. I think with networking in hand, we're so totally fine if they oppo us. It's like whatever. I think we just do this. Oops. Missing the networking with a snare is like definitely a feeling. Cool. All right. We need the Croupier because they're definitely running end the run barriers. We kept the twinning, which is good because it's a multi-axis. We probably didn't need a sure gamble there. But like ideally we're clearing the tag during a run to use our bad publicity on our Cheswa. I think that might be tricky to do. We need to run this. We know nothing about their hand besides an oppo. Whoa. That's a fine fork for us. Can we float a single tag? I think they're probably on end of line as their tag punishment, if we can float a single tag. The issue is how do we deal with this remote server? They're on 2 credits, so the only thing they could possibly res here is an ice wall. That could be an NGO front. But I think we need to challenge the server. Could just die to Urtica. So if we install... Actually, you know what's worth playing maybe in this deck? What's her name? The tag one. Yeah, we should definitely be playing Hannah for our 2 influence slot. That's really good. Okay, so we can run through the Valenchao, no problem. They gain 2 credits, whatever. We lose bad publicity. This ice here, we might want to consider getting the Kurapira down. If we get the Kurapira down, yeah, wheels might be worth playing. We also can like install the Thunder Art Gallery networking for the wheels down, but the problem is we need to keep at least 4 cards in hand. So we could probably draw here for a boomerang. It might be better than the Kurapira. Okay, the Bravado is nice. Yeah, Hannah sounds reasonable in this deck because we have a bunch of ways to get good value off of her. So we can Bravado, Valenchao. This ice, they probably can't res. If we're worried about it, we can get the Kurapira down. We don't really need a Bravado. It puts us actually on 8 credits, so there's a chance that we get blown out, but if it's an NGO front, we don't care. Do we install the Kurapira? Floating 2 tags is fine too, I think. I don't know what their tag punishment is. I think we just run this. I don't think we Bravado this. I want to keep cards in hand. In theory, they could be like mindscaping into something, but they need like a... They need something for that. Maybe we shouldn't have drawn there. I think the only top deck is a boomerang. Hostile, cool. Hold on, hold on. You think I played this card? Okay, so we die to small things. They don't have a lot of money, so they can't actually, they can do credit mindscaping end the line. If they hit us with a retribution, we're not too upset. But keeping 4 cards in hand is important. I think we're safe now if they draw. They could like tempo out, which would hit a Kurapira and networking, which is probably fine. And if that's the case, like, again, we draw once to find like a no free lunch or some way to clear a tag while running R&D, we get like absolutely, we just explode. But now the remote server is falling apart. Bad publicity into Valenchao is difficult. Oh, they tempo into the line and we lost our breaker and our twinning. That's a sick tempo in the line. Nice. It cleared a tag for us. Imagine I had, wait, who clears a tag? You avoid it. Okay, you have to do that. Very cool. So we'll draw. We have the boomerang. We can run HQ to C2, no problem with the boomerang. I think we will do that. So we'll run HQ. They can't fire a snare. Install the hardware. We'll do the bad publicity, right? Here, it's better to do a Cheswa because we'll lose the bad publicity, yeah. Nice. Continue counter. They can't fire a snare here, which is really important. Bump, bump. Continue movement. Not having a Kurapira might be a problem. We need a... What's it called? Amakua. We'll see 2. Enigma, good to know. Oppo, good to know. Shuffle. So we have to draw and we have to remove a single tag. Okay, they're trying to hurt us. That's fine. We don't want to float with the tags. Losing a crew here and losing a twinning is bad. At least we have the 1 HQ pressure card, and the remote server seems a bit fragile. Running R&D for single seems a bit better. We know that could be an Enigma. You have more credits, it doesn't end the run? Oh yeah, it doesn't matter, you're right. It doesn't matter which ones we break, because we lost the bad publicity. We definitely should be breaking the top 2. You're 100% right. There's no reason to break the end run. Okay, ice on R&D. Draw. There's the turtle. We need that more than anything. We don't know what archives is. We have no way to cheat out the archives turtle. We can cycle with boomerang. I think we want to run into this Enigma last click. So if they res it, they go down to 0. It's not that bad for us. I think we just do turtle. We run archives. No. They threw it in a geofront. Okay. Then we can run R&D last click. They can't fire snare. On 3 credits, there's no program destruction here. We don't need a boomerang. We could draw a card. I think we want to keep the boomerang in hand, maybe. But they can't fire snare here, so we don't mind accessing last click. Mascaroka. Oh, cool. Neat. Haven't really played into this ice. 3 strength is not terrible. Cleaver, mind you, eats this. I think I like Sandstone a fair bit better. But at least they get some money off of it. So they res it functionally for 1. That's not too bad. A cat is like kind of similar to that. Okay. We could have boomeranged that. We're not going to. And that's good. Okay, so we need 3 virus counters to see singles off of R&D. Here, though, we can just probably set up a bit. It's a Spin Doctor. Ooh, they're on game point now. That's good, and that's good money for them. So now we need a boomerang HQ. Let's, we're going to draw off the draw anyways. We can draw into a Hot Pursuit. Nuclear Paladin, rather have the card draw. So let's see 2 in HQ. We know nothing besides Oppo. They can hit us with Snare. We're going to have enough cards in hand. So we'll go HQ. We'll install the boomerang. We'll put it there. We'll use the Chesva with 3 bad publicity. Masterwork for the draw. Boomerang on here. De-resing of Alan Chow is kind of fun. It's a lot of strength though. We'll continue to counter. We'll boomerang this. Here they have more money than us, so we have to do this one. We don't want to give them more money, I guess. Oppo. Audacity. Oh, that's really bad for us. That's really bad. So now we have to lock the top of the deck because they're on game point at the top deck. One of the 2 atlases, they could be on IZF, I'd be surprised, or the one of Above the Law. So we have no choice here besides running archives and then running R&D. I don't think we have an option here. Yeah, we just might be slightly too slow. That was a really good top deck for them. Now if they draw, that's the kind of fork here that we could have. Is that we have to run both. Okay. That's not a great draw for them, but we'll take the points. But now they can top deck the win. Yeah, True Super Automata is the list. This is kind of the deck I wanted to play. I think we might lose here. Okay, we're safe. We have to watch out for viruses, but they're definitely like going fast enough that's hard for us to respect their stuff. Yeah, this is the sort of list I wanted to test for a while. I think for what it's worth, like I don't know if I like the Oppo, but there's a chance that if they played Public Trail, it would be more lethal. And I think Public Trail in end of line makes more sense. Oh yeah, we oppoed, right? Shit. I don't think they have the tag punishment. We're on 4 tags, but I don't think they have the tag punishment. Okay, thinking. Right, like imagine Public Trail into end of line. So we probably want to run this. The Valen Chow will have 7 credits. They'll have 5. That's fine. They have to res the innermost. I think we just check this. We float 4 cards in hand. That's our whole turn. If that's the case, we can draw once here, but we can probably play Tag Me from this point forward. What are we drawing into? Again, we're on 4 plus 3 bad publicity, so this will be 7. They'll be on 3. They'll go up to 5. With 5, they can res this ice here. I think we just charge this. We just make sure there's no Spin Doctor, no Rashida. And we need to force to res the Spin Doctor, and then we can go HQ, but I don't think we can go HQ here. These Valen Chows are cool. Okay, they have 5 here. They can res just about anything. It's an envelopment. Okay. That will fire. Watch X server 1, what agenda could it be? It's Rashida. We need to make sure they don't have a Rashida. Because the thing is, like, they even on no credits, they can win. They do install. And also if it's Rashida or Spin Doctor, it's more likely for them to draw their punishment. Okay, so we can see 2 from HQ. We know nothing about the hand. I think locking the top of R&D is more important. That's the second oppo. Okay, so we can see 1 on R&D. And then we can go back. We can make as many runs as we can. We can consider drawing once here. It sees 2 cards. We're going to float the tags. Do they think they still need 1 credit to F it with Audacity? You're right, they do. because they need to advance the card first. Yeah, they advance gain 2. Yeah. Yeah. BTL will just refund it. You're totally right. They need 1 credit. But if this is Rashid, it's a bad spot. So we want to draw for pinhole. Okay. So I think we just run R&D, run HQ. In theory, we should run R&D first, because if we steal, we have to go deeper. We could put the boomerang on HQ. We don't have a huge incentive to do that. It draws deeper. We have 2 pinhole, though. Because the other option, they could do credit, advance, advance. They have an Audacity in hand, so this actually could be a 3-1. Like, we could also lose to this being a 3-2, right? I wonder if they would jam it instead of something else. I think we boomerang here for a pinhole is probably right. We'll use the Chesva, I guess. No, pinhole. Continue. Because if we pinhole and it's Rashid or spin doctors gets government, okay, at least that's a bad draw. And so now we can run HQ. We don't need to break. We can just break both of these. Yeah, we can lose here. When you run into something like a balance shower or white space that compares credit pools when you get included in the pool, I didn't realize bad pub counted. Does it work with the same for something like overclock? I'm not sure what the text on overclock is. Also, how's it going, Ocean Daughter? Enigma, we need that. Audacity, we need that. Okay, we could lose here. The thing that's important to understand is that when they res the Valenchao, yeah, that's a problem. You get the bad publicity, but the bad publicity you gain is not counted into your credit pool until you initiate a run. So it's very much worth noting that when they res a Valenchao, yes, you have a bad publicity, but that won't convert until your next run. That being said, the bad publicity is just real credits in your credit pool. When it comes to things like overclock, I'd have to read the text. I think these are credits you can use during the run. I don't know if it's credits in your credit pool. They don't have it, they drew. Yeah, because it says overclock money can be used in the run. It's kind of like Chesva. It probably says the same text. You can use these hosted credits during a run, but it's not part of your credit pool. And Valenchao compares your credit pool. So that shouldn't work. Tempo and the line. So they're 1 credit. We survived. So again, if they have the 3rd end of the line here, we could be in a bad spot. They don't have mindscaping. So now we have to, again, run HQ and we have to run the top deck of R&D. We're holding on. I see. Thanks. Yeah, no problem. Welcome to the stream, by the way. Thanks for asking a question. So they drew a lot of cards. Running HQ is pretty likely. They can't fire snare here. Ideally, I think we draw once. The flip switch is a clickless card draw. We can clear tag 2, but 3 tags versus 2 tag doesn't matter. So I think we're going to go R&D first. Because we might get the Amaku to 6 strength, and then we can just deal with that the old-fashioned way. How's it going today, Sean? It's going really well. We've been playing, like, technically Thunder Our Gallery, which has survived, like, multiple end of lines, but this matchup has been a bit strange. But it seems like a cool list. So we just want to draw with this. We'll use the bad publicity. We have a pinhole. That's okay. Continue. We'll break with bad publicity again. For what it's worth, a virus here would be a problem. They can't fire snare. It's government subsidy. We know they have 1 in hand. There's a bunch of cards in archives too. Yeah, Thunder Gallery's been cool. The fact that we can flip switch during a run to use Chesva to install, it's been kind of cool. But this matchup has been at quite a speed. So here, if we don't draw, we could die. We would need to draw to be really safe. They can do credit. So it's either we run HQ or I'm going to risk that they don't have the final copy of end of line. Because we have no way to clicklessly draw. We only have to break 2 of these. Oh man, this is going to be, yeah, okay, whatever. If we see end line here, we draw. We're going to see 2. Snare, okay. If we trash it, they can hit us. That's fine. Enigma, okay. End of line is more likely than finding the 3-2. I don't think so. I think they have a lot of 3-2s in their deck. They probably have 2 Atlases and 1 above the law. That's 3 hits and 16. I think it's more likely they have the 3-2. We know that they have an Enigma in hand. We have to just go back for another single because we can't survive end of line anymore. I'm just going to do this. It's simple. Sad snare, I know. Enigma. Okay, we've seen that Enigma a lot. They might have multiple. We could die here to end the line. They'd have to do like draw. Okay, so we know a couple cards in hand. They can now fire snare. We got to count some influence here. So assuming we've seen 2 spin doctors, that's 2 influence. So it probably is more. 3, 4, 5, 6 on snare, 7, 8, 9, 10 on oppo. So we need to draw once before we access. We'll keep the sure gamble. Okay, so here we run R&D to start. Then we just run HQ to get the Docklands pass. think we always use the bad publicity first, right? Oppo off the top, okay. So now we just flush HQ 3 times. If we hit a snare, we could lose. And we draw last click, actually, probably. Because we know they didn't draw, they didn't have a last turn. This HQ run's actually a bit messed up. We probably shouldn't be running HQ here. I think they might take a time to purge. We didn't have to break all of those. It's fine. We won't use the bad publicity. We'll see 2 here, Enigma, and 2 snare. They had another one. They had that in hand. We could have got 2 snares. I think if they fire it here, we're actually kind of happy because they're on 0 credits and they can't threaten to win the game. Yeah, this is just super modernism. This is sick. This is really, really cool. We will trash snare. So we know they're not winning off the top deck. They don't have an end of line because we would have died last turn. They could have mindscaping. That would have killed us last turn too. So we're just going to do a draw here. Great. Purge makes a lot of sense. That's okay. That's why we have the boomerang. That's fine. So now we have to build up counters. We know they don't have to win in hand, so we just have to tunnel R&D. So here we can run. We can do the boomerang cycle. We've seen all 3 snares, so we can access on 1 card in hand, no problem. We want to do this as soon as possible, so we'll install the boomerang. We'll use the Cheswa. That's fine. Masterwork. It draws. We'll take the flip switch, I guess. We'll put that on there. And we could also run archives. There might be, you know, a virus in there. We should actually check sooner than we should do this. It's too late. We saw this, but we should check archives first. Because otherwise we could get purged backwards. Yeah, run archives sooner was better. Atlas. Shuffle that back in. Okay. Glad they didn't draw that. So the only other access we can get here, and all they're in 0 credits, so they're not threatening to win. We don't know what they're drawing into. I guess we will run archives here. We know one of the face downs is a Hordem. Pay 1 to install a hardware. No, we've already gotten our draw this turn. No virus in there. So we're at Amakua 1, so we can't get back into this Maskarovka. So I think we just do... Running HQ is unlikely. They had so many windows to have the game. The problem is we can't get this. So we can draw once for a boomerang. It's a Carmen. We have no other way to break this besides a boomerang. Build up turtle. We're not in a rush to do it. We definitely can. It's probably better than drawing here. The thing is, like, we have 3 boomerangs and 19 cards. So I think we run the archives once more. And then we have a good class act draw for it. If they top deck the 3-2, they win. There's only 2 more and 13 cards, though. Actually, they don't win this turn. HQ could have an SDS. It could. Oh, that's really smart for them. Yeah, we should have done the Amakua 3 times. But on 2 credits, what the heck did they res here? If they res something for 2 credits, like if they res an ice wall, we're fine. Let's draw once. In theory, we don't draw. We install the flip switch. So let's run archives. They could have it in hand. They have an unknown card. So we'll install the flip switch with this, I guess. We could have done the bad publicity. We have Unity and Bravado. It's more important for us to have a Unity, I reckon. No res. Amaku's on 3. Run R&D. Bravado is actually not bad because money matters for the balance chow. Fully break. Here, it doesn't really matter what we do. Shida, okay. Run R&D again. We could die now to end the line because they could do credit end the line. I generally think if they draw that, that's better. We can go and run back. If we go and run back, they can't purge because we can run archives 3 times. But if they draw this, this is a better draw for us than anything else. That being said, we can trash this and go ahead and run back. That means we don't die to the final end of the line. If they have the final end of line of the hand, we die anyways. They don't have the win in hand because they would have won last time. So I think here we do trash and go back. Because I don't think we have that much else better to do on the turn. We could have considered leaving that, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, there we go. Woo-hoo-hoo! Good game. That was tight. I really liked your list. Yeah, I'm used to Tron playing a lot of like grindy decks. That caught us by surprise that they played something more rushy because we did not like play into that too well. But that was really cool. 97 credits. So much of that's bad publicity, right? Like, you know how many economy? Ooh, what you got? We survived 2 end of lines there. In terms of the economy we played, like we played so little economy. Armed intimidation. Oh, sick. Sick. If we trash and run back and see end of line, we're dead. Yeah, but we're dead if we don't trash. That's, oh, sorry, you're right. That's the exact thing that we lose to is we run back and see end of line because then we do die. But there's more agendas than there are end of lines. Yeah. Armed intimidation is weird. If they score it out, we must suffer 5 meat damage or take 2 tags. So it depends when you score it out. If you do install advance, it's with what's it called in hand? If you as long as you have cards in hand, you're fine. This card's tricky. It got a lot better with seamless launch, that's for sure. With no free launch, it's not that bad. Yeah, I think you need click compression to score this out. Either you do install double advance and then you do advance and score. And then like if they don't have 5 cards in hand and they have 4 cards in hand, then you're not in a good spot. This is pretty new. Seems like government seems bad. I think I was more scared of too big to fail. Because then the Valenshaus keep me out. Yeah, too big to fail might make sense. Like, I don't know how much bad publicity you want to take. Also, interestingly, like, you can cut the Oak down so you can play regulatory capture, and it's probably like okay. At that point, why are we not playing the outfit? I don't know. Actually, there's a chance that this deck would be just strictly better in outfit. Yeah, I think the bad pub lost the game kind of into this list. Yeah, I did. The bad pub did lose the game into this. Install advance into in the line is surprising solid fork. Yeah, totally. Have you tried public trail, capital letter, instead of oppo? Oh yeah, you can hear me. Sick. Yeah. Good game Tron for. Yeah, so the thing that like I don't entirely love like about armed intimidation is they only take the 2 tags if they don't have 5 cards in hand. So if they don't have 5 cards in hand, if they have 4 cards in hand, then they take the 2 tags and then you don't have legitimate punishment. That being said, like losing stuff is nice. Like retribution right now is in a good spot as well. So like they have to be on less than 3 cards in hand. And so the cases where you can install advance this and they can contest it and then they still have 3 cards in hand, which often makes this thing less consistent than any other like tempo forward rush option. Public trial, Andre's pet card, yeah. I think it's good. I think public trial is underrated, right? Like there's a lot of board states where like people just don't have 8 credits early or 4 cards in hand because like, of course, who's playing the public trail? You just kill them out of nowhere, which like maybe that's a bad feel, right? But I complain about vulnerability on it. But yeah, it's nice they can generate forks. Be like, I know you can get into this remote server, but can you get into the remote server? Like it's exactly what this agenda is trying to do. Like you're saying, do you have, you know, enough cards in hand? And if they ran and they don't have, you know, the amount of cards in hand that armed intimidation kills you on, then public trail kills them probably most of the time anyways. Hey, Dirty Deets, how's it going? Thank you. Thanks for saying hi. Hopefully you're doing well. Maybe this deck is just to do it in an outfit, but with lighter bad pub, that traditional bad pub count. Yeah, maybe. For what it's worth, like the built to last didn't fire. Like it fired twice or 3 times. I think it fired like 3. Well, okay. All the agendas it fired once and then 1 NGO front. I feel like that's probably not a good starting point. But it also makes people play differently, right? I don't play an outfit with 6+ bad pub. Yeah, but you play red cap and you win the game. But I hear you for sure. Maybe do a public trail end of line deck at some point in stream. Yeah, I think that's one of the next things we'll do. We'll do like a super modernism, which exactly like still playing public trail in the end of line is so good with snare. Because on a snare turn, the runner probably, you know, has to clear the tag. They probably don't have 4 cards in hand. And it's like such a good fork generator where like you just play snare, public trail, end of line. And it's like such a good package when you're off. Fires is 8 credits, that's not bad. Yeah, but like, let alone, this would have been 9 credits with too big to with the outfit, right? And technically clicklessly, as much as actually, you know what, this is clicklessly. Yeah, trigger 6 times. 12 credits isn't awful for a 40 card deck. It's not. It fired 6 times. Wait, really? How? Oh, I guess I stole an agenda. Yeah, it's you're right. It's not. That's not terrible. It's just like it's very easy in the outfit to get 12 credits. No sweat. You just have to play a bigger deck. Yeah. Thanks for the game, Tron 4. I'm glad you can hear me. It makes that a bit easier to type out. Snare public try underline equals 11 credits, fairly rich. Yeah, but like we're playing too big to fail, right? Like we are generally fairly rich in that deck, right? Like we're jamming Oak Towns really quickly. I think it's a possibility. And the snare doesn't happen all the time. Like I think you do public trail into line people just out of nowhere. Cool. I think that's it for today. We've been streaming for about 3 hours, 40 minutes. Thanks so much for hanging out. We've been pretty rough on video content recently. I tried to record something last night and I had to scrap it and we're going to redo it. We should have 2 videos coming up. We have a really good deck dive. Sorry, that's totally not true. We have a really good replay review coming up. Jeff's and I's recounting of oh yeah, sorry, Paxu. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Hold on. News. 2024 Circuit Breaker Invitational. Let's do some news real quick. Sorry to do the fake out sign out. Super cool to see Az. Yeah, I'm so excited to see Az. like do something. And that deck actually like is kind of fun. I don't think it's tier 1, but like definitely bring it to a casual night or whatever. This is really good. So Circuit Breaker Invitationals. We've been having Circuit Breakers, you know, all year. And if you win a Circuit Breaker, either coming first or at a circuit opener, excuse me, or at nationals, or you come in second when there's enough people, you get an invite to this, which you have to cash in, follow that out. Now this tournament will be online. It's going to be January 13th and 14th. It should be a 2-day tournament because I think there's a lot of players, and I think the top cut will be the second day. This is being organized by Sam. No, sorry, we don't have a deck dive. I said the wrong thing. I don't have a deck dive recorded. This is really cool. So we will be working at some on the stream. I don't know if we're casting all of it, some of it, whatever, but I'm really stoked. I knew about this date going a bit early because Sam reached out to be like, what date works for casters and stuff like that. I love that. We don't see that all that much besides big events. So I think Radiant's doing a great job there, but this is going to be a huge event. Circuit Breakers are really cool because of one of the biggest tournaments, kind of like Worlds Online back in the day, where we have people coming in from every zone. And it's really interesting because winning a Circuit Breaker in different areas, they're not all the same difficulty to get in. So it's kind of pretty wild. This is one of the few invitational only tournaments. The prize support is usually really killer. Also just like registering at a minimum is really good. I think the registration is fee, but they have a recommended suggestion donation of $10 because they send you participation prize support. I made the Circuit Breaker last year, but I didn't participate. I didn't even submit my like $10, $15, so I didn't get the prize support. That's on me. At a minimum, even if you don't want to play, I'd highly recommend just like paying the $10, and they send you generally, like last year was like nice foil spin doctors and foil dirty laundries, I think, which is really cool. But this event is going to be killer. Again, January 13th and 14th. Check that out. They'll be coming up. Mark that on your calendar, either if you're playing, and it's good that they give you this much advance notice. There's a whole bunch of Circuit Breaker openers over the next like couple weeks just to get people in, because you can still win an invite in the near future. In fact, we're running one in Montreal. I think it's a Circuit Breaker. Actually, it might not be. It might just be a GNK. I have it open here somewhere. But yeah, that's on the 9th. Hopefully to see you there. It is a circuit opener. So if you want to get your invite, come into Montreal. This will be a really nice event. It's a single day event or a 2-day one. I think it's a 2-day one, considering they said 2 dates, right? January 13th and 14th. I've been told it's probably a 2-day event. That's not confirmation, but I'm pretty sure it will be. Shout out to Vancouver CO this weekend. Yeah. Hey, yo, Monday, you got it. Time to plug in Ohio CO2. Yo, let us know. Let everyone know. This is sick. Excited for this. NSG is at PAX U. That's this weekend, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's 1st and 3rd of December. PAX U is in Philadelphia. That's a big convention. I've been to a PAX. I've been to PAX West, and I thought it was an absolutely fantastic convention because it has a lot more focus on like in-person play and organized play and stuff like that. And so an NSG will be here on the map in the corner. It's really cool to see it. I think we know Pouch Server will be there. Dan B will be there, as he usually is on the East Coast. They actually have playmats for sale. This is the first time we've seen these. These are gorgeous. I think a lot of people wanted Netrunner art that they can purchase outside of prize support. I am a big fan of both of these arts. I really like the umbrella one. And then there's also, you'll be able to pick up a convention promo. We saw this at Sovereign Servers. Bushi had these in his deck. Wage Workers is a really good card to get a full art of. Every year there's a different convention promo. This one you can only go at convention. So Wage Workers is sick. It's on the front page, still working on logistics, but confirmed time and date. Okay, hold on. Let's grab that. Yeah, the RCS playmat too. Raindrops Cut Stone is also quite good. I'm assuming, I don't know which one it would be. Brighton? No, that's the UK. Hold on. We'll figure it out. One of these is, which one? Probably this one, right? Ohio? Loot box, Mondi Greensleeves. Yeah, okay. So Mondi's running. There's a whole bunch of circuit openers kind of getting in there at the last minute. So stay tuned. They'll be soon. That's sick. Check that out. Other new stuff really quickly. Recruitment update. This is, you know, if you care about NSG structure, this is sick. Firstly, Ed Fortune, that's Ed, right? Like the Ed we know will be replacing Serenity, who recently just left. I met Serenity at Worlds. Serenity is lovely. As a new vice president of engagement. That's Cook Ed, right? That's sick. I met Ed again for the first time at Worlds. Just such a nice dude. Also, the new role of Vice President of Staff Support, which will be incorporating the responsibilities of the Department of People as well as other areas, will be taken by Irigian Winter. That's Pelu, you might know from GLC, which is also really sick. That's a cool position. Very excited, you know, founding member of QTM testing group. That's awesome. So announcement with this will be customarily accompanied by a few interview questions on the podcast. The NSS podcast I've been enjoying. They've been doing it. The last one I listened to was Ed's recording from Worlds, which is really nice to listen to. You can find that out if you just search it, because it's not on this website for some reason. I think the last thing for news really quickly is that there's an update on the EU card replacement. We haven't been covering this that much, but basically a bunch of the EU cards, the card stock is too thin, and NSG will be replacing your cards for free, and you don't have to do anything. In fact, if you want to not get your cards replaced, you have to do something. You have to basically opt out. But they're very, very, I would say excited. I think it's important, obviously, to update you because the situation with the card stock obviously isn't great. Nobody wanted this, but they're doing a great job at replacing it from what I've seen. If you feel differently, let me know in the comments. I'm not too plugged into this, but I know there's always been updates be like, oh, we had a problem with this EU thing. Finally, the cards got printed. They're messed up and they're going to be replaced. And that's the kind of thing that NSG can get away with doing, which is absolutely sick. I think that's it for news. I think that'll be it. Again, go get your tags. Go ahead and remove them. Bless. Yeah, Mondi, thank you. That's it. We'll be back in a couple days. This Thursday would be a Pat stream. It's not going to be a Pat stream. We might get a Pat stream before. Mind you, we're just about on December. The streams will slow down a bit in December, of course. I'll be away for holidays for a couple weeks, so I'm going to try and get some video content to schedule onto the channel for a bit, because there's probably going to be a gap between, like the middle of December and then the new year. And not much we can do about that. We'll just be out with family and doing holiday stuff. So hopefully you stay warm or cold if you're in the Southern Hemisphere. I think that's it. Thanks for the stream. Alexander, how's it going? Hey, cheers. Of course, my pleasure. Thanks for dropping in. That will be it. We'll be back on Thursday. I think that's all I got. Take care, y'all. Ciao.